It's
like,
okay.
hey, are we live? Yeah, we're live. Are we?
We're live. I feel like I'm way off to the side.
You are. It looks like you're way over there to me.
I am way over there. I think your pot's too far away. Hey, welcome to another episode of Northwest Brewmeisters, where we screw up the beginning every single time. We are just a couple guys from the Pacific Northwest who like beers, and
Think you should too.
all right, I'm Jamie,
I'm Steve.
and off to the side, off camera,
Okay.
is our good friend Stephanie.
Also, my sister-in-law.
Yeah, which makes it good that she's your good friend,
Right.
because
It helps.
It does.
It helps with holiday dinners.
It does. Yeah. Everything's warm and cozy and hot instead of icy cold and silent.
I know, right? Sit around just drinking a beer, nobody's talking, you know?
Right? So we're having a great day. I think the biggest thing that y'all should remember or just take note of is I remembered everything at this point. Pretty sure.
We'll find out later.
We'll find out
Found
later.
out what I forgot.
I will not use foul language. We've decided we're going to redouble our efforts to be child-friendly, at least the first half of the show.
Right.
Or 10. Or
Depends how many beers we get down during the discussions.
Yes.
So if we keep talking, we're drinking less, but that's kind of
Then the beer gets warm.
counterintuitive to drinking beer. You know?
Well, it doesn't set a good example for our viewers.
Right?
None of them.
Even the bots are like, eh.
Oh, speaking of that. All right. So, anyways, we're doing what we always do. We're brewing beer. Like the description here says, we actually got kind of lazy and didn't feel like inventing our own beers today or even redoing some of our own recipes. So we just went down to our supplier, Northwest Brewers Supply, and picked up
A couple kits.
a couple kits. And we have yet to be disappointed. We did do the one where we thought that just putting it in a snowbank would cool it off quick enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. And yeah, that makes your beer taste.
Yeah, that
Not
one
good.
was one of the IPAs we made. It just
It was
was too much. It just the
nah.
wort kept just essentially cooking too long after it was off the fire. It just it wasn't right. It didn't taste right. So we still drank it, of course.
Because we're like that.
Yeah.
We're not weak.
Yeah, we haven't always got their recipes right as we do them, but we're still learning, and you know
But with
we always enjoy the product at the end, even if we screw it up. It's still pretty good.
yeah, and as long as you stick with the process, it's
Yeah,
good. When you
right.
blow the process right out of the water. All right, go ahead. I'm going to share this to the world,
Okay.
and you just go ahead and tell them about your beer.
So this
Wait, read slowly.
read slowly. Okay.
Yes.
So this time around, I'm doing a beer one of their kits called Red Tide, which is an Irish red ale. This is one of my favorite ones. I've done this I think 3 times. This is my 3rd time doing this kit.
I think so, man.
The Irish red ale, just a touch of roasted barley gives the brew a nice red color, coupled with traditional hops. Red Tide is a crowd pleaser that everyone can enjoy. Well, I agree. So if I do it right, the original gravity is going to be 1.048. Final gravity will be 1.013, which should result in an ABV of 4.6 and an IBU of 25. So having this before, to me it's smooth. It's not like hoppy. I mean, it's a good drinking beer. And I guess all beers are good drinking beer, but you know what I mean. It's a nice, good beer to relax and enjoy. And
There was that beer.
you're not going to get hammered too quick or anything like that. So, all right. So my kit inventory, my steeping grains are a pound of Crystal 80. So it's going to be kind of dark, but not like really dark, you know. 2 ounces of roasted barley, where that reddish hue is going to come from. My extracts are 6.6 pounds of golden light malt extract. My hops are 1 ounce of East Kent Goldings at 60 minute and 1 ounce of Fuggles at 5 minute. And my yeast is Y Yeast 1084 Irish Ale. And I'm not bottling, so I'll not be using any kind of dextrose or priming sugar. As always, we keg our beers. To be honest with you, I have never bottled a beer in my life. But, you know, there'll be a first time for everything, I guess, at some point in time.
Read slower.
Okay.
What the?
So if you've watched any of the previous episodes, the process is going to be the same, but I'll give you a quick recap. So I'm going to bring up my steeping water to about 150 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. I will steep my grains for 30 minutes. You know, remove the bag. Here's my grain bag here. I'll remove the bag. I'll drain it, not squeeze it, but I'll let it drain. And then I will get my water back up to temperature.
Slower.
Why don't you squeeze it?
like with the tea bag, you don't want to squeeze out extra acids and stuff that aren't supposed to be there. So you
It's the
just put them in.
tannins. The tannins is a big thing, which is tannins are one of the things like.
How about I go slower, you work faster?
I'm okay. I'm shutting up. I think I got it figured out.
So anyway, I'll do my 30 minutes of steeping in my giant tea bag that I will not squeeze or remove it from the water. I'll bring my water up to. Actually, before I do that, I'll put my extracts in, and then I'll get my water up to, boiling temperature. Now I don't want a crazy, hard, rough boil, just a nice, smooth rolling boil. Some people I've talked to bring their water up to boiling before they put their extracts in. I guess it's just a matter of, where you started, what you learned first. I learned to put my extracts in and then get the water up. So. What was that?
Did it. Share it to the world. I still feel like I'm way off to the side.
No, wait a minute. I said that wrong.
What'd you say wrong?
Never mind. I don't know. I'm confusing myself.
There, I feel better. I'm gonna burn up. I'm good now. Don't worry, folks. I'm good.
Yeah.
For now.
What'd you say wrong?
I thought I said it backwards, but I was not saying it backwards. So when the 60-minute timer kicks off, once my wort is at the boiling stage, I will put in my 1 ounce of East Kent Golding, and then when there's 5 minutes remaining, I'll add my final ounce, my finishing hops of my Fuggles, and then I'll take it off, cool it down rapidly to at least, instructions say below 100, but I like to get mine down to about 80 before I put it in the carboy. And this time around, because it's the summer months, things are a little bit warmer. My groundwater is not as cold as it is.
Mm-hmm.
So we use a work chiller hooked to my hose on the outside. I have 4 gallons of water that's been in the fridge for the last couple of hours, so it should be nice and cold by the time we're ready to add our wort to our carboys before fermentation. So I'll get my wort in there. I'll top it off with water to 5 gallons, and then put my yeast in and let it sit for 10 days or 2 weeks. I like to go 2 weeks just to ensure the process is done.
Sweet. All right, you don't need to stall anymore.
Okay.
I managed to get everything done.
Good job.
All right, so my turn. So I'm going to do a Kolsch. It's called Temptation Ale. That's what that's the name they've given it. And I have brewed this several times also. Again, I like it. More importantly, my wife likes it. And so I tried some beers I brew for me, and then I have to drink 5 gallons of beer. If you're not, I'm up to the task. And some beers I brew for my wife to share with. And this is one of them. I also do a Newcastle clone, which we use quite a bit when Lagunitas, if you're listening, Lagunitas, figure it out, somehow forgets how to distribute beer. We have a Newcastle brown ale shortage. I mean, I've been through a lot of shortages in my life, but that's probably the worst. My wife sitting around the house crying inconsolably because she can't have her Newcastle. All right, so we got half a pound of Crystal 10, half a pound of Carapils. So this is not a dark beer at all. It's very light. 6.6 pounds Pilsen liquid malt extract, 1 ounce of Hallertau Mittelfrüh at 60 minutes, half an ounce of Tetznang, and then another half an ounce of Tetznang. So half an ounce at the 30-minute mark, and then half an ounce right at flame out. Why yeast is 2565 Kolsch, which likes to go from 56 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to have to find a place in my basement to achieve that temperature.
Good luck.
Yeah. Well, if I go far enough back and put it right up against the earth wall, we should be okay. And then everything else is exactly what Steve said. I mean, pretty much exactly the same.
Most
whole
of the
process.
most of the beers that we brew that are, where the kits are assembled by our suppliers, the instructions are pretty similar. There's a few cases where it's different. Like if it's a lager or some of their other beers they make,
Well, and usually the boil process doesn't change much. There are some. So, for example, the Newcastle clone is a 90-minute boil. Is it my Scotch ale or is it my Scotch ale?
I think so.
The Scotch ale, I do a 90-minute boil, and you do things. I mean, when you add certain things, changes, and it changes the flavor. So with the Newcastle, you add
Get your water going, man.
Oh, okay. You add the hops right at you add the hops right at 90, and then you add your next hops. You add your next hops at like 30 minutes. And with my Scotch ale, the way I do it is I just let it go for half an hour and let all those processes, which you can look up on the internet about the different processes that happen when you heat proteins and starches and carbohydrates and things.
All the chemistry stuff.
Yeah, lots of chemistry stuff. Because beer is not science, but it is science.
The science of beer is not science.
Yeah. Zymurgy, which is actually the science
Zymurgy,
of alcohol,
yeah.
isn't it?
It's also a magazine.
Yeah.
Zymurgy magazine.
So the point being is that for the most part, the boil portion of things is kind of the same, very routine. It's a good time to screw around, drink beer, and discuss things like whatever comes to mind. And boy, have I got things to talk about today.
Oh boy, it should be a fun one.
Yeah, don't worry, we're not going to offend anyone except for bad musicians. They might get offended.
Bad musicians?
Yeah, we'll talk.
Oh, they deserve to be offended. Then.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
In fact, I have not said it in the entire 45 minutes that I've been here before we started the camera on purpose. Just to save it so we have something to talk about while we're on camera waiting for this to brew.
No worries.
As always, I go first because for whatever reason, we suspect that it's because my propane burner is actually closer to my pot, and also my pot is shaped different. In any case,
now we do make exceptions. When he's doing his 90-minute boils, I go first.
that's true. I'm the only one that does the 90-minute boils.
So
All of yours?
Right, I haven't made a beer yet that requires a 90-minute boil.
Yeah,
So,
interesting.
speaking of beer, wait, we're always talking about beer.
Yeah,
Today's
but
beer.
we haven't said today's beer.
Today's
Beer of
beer
the day.
is Resurrection Ale. This was actually the very first recipe I designed from the ground up, and
It's amazing.
this is the third time I've brewed it, and I changed it up a little bit at the recommendation of the guys at NW Brewers Supply. He had,
Amazing.
oh yeah, I know I like it better this way. Last time I put just kind of regular chocolate malt in it, but I can't remember who recommended it. I can't remember which one. If it was Ben or Trevor.
It was either Ben or Trevor.
Yeah, 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
One of them recommended they said they had some British chocolate hops in, and he said, hey, why don't you give it a shot? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I liked it. I like it better this way than I do the other way. So thank you for that recommendation.
Props to the limeys.
Right, right.
Right? That's the slur. Limeys, right?
Limeys, yeah.
So we got it right? Don't be offended. Come on. Put your big people pants on.
But-
It'll be okay.
I like it this way. I like this better with the British chocolate hops. And as long as they keep it in stock, I'm going to use it next time I brew this.
Well, they do keep that one in stock too. That's always there. I just like it. I just think you should just keep brewing it.
Yeah, I took some with me to my friend's birthday party on Friday, and he really loved it.
I would pay for this.
He loved it. Oh, what was that joke? Yeah. All your friends love your beer until they have to pay for it.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, well, you know.
I paid for it. I did pay for it. I bought the kit to make it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna call this one, like, for now, unless I make something better that I like my signature beer, because it seems to work out quite well, man. And it's the style is English Strong Ale, and it's high ABV. I don't know exactly what this one is. I didn't bother measuring this time. Yeah, shame on me. I get it, but it's probably anywhere between 7 and 7.5. It's not hoppy like an IPA, but it's strong like an IPA. Not even that malty. It's kind of smooth, man. It goes down easy. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's a good beer.
Yeah, well, it's not,
It's just dangerous because it's strong.
Yeah. Well, it is malty, but it's not like that weird malty.
Right.
Like the Belgians.
Right. It's not malty where you're just like, you know.
We will definitely both drink a Belgian, but it's not the top of our list.
Right.
I mean, Steve is an IPA guy. I'm a brown ale porter stout guy. I like the brown beers pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, those Belgians, like the famous Roquefort 8. Yeah.
See, when I made their recipe, not when I screwed up. It was something I did wrong because it tasted like black cherry in the end. Remember that one? It was strong.
Well, I didn't get that sense of it, but I have horrible taste buds.
I screwed something up when I made that.
I do remember there was mistakes were made.
Yeah. So
Regrets were incurred.
I might try to do that recipe again, and now that I have a little more experience, and, you know. So, but anyway, Yeah, I think we covered all the beer.
I don't think we can do much for. I mean, we can talk about beer forever. There's books written on it, multiple books, multiple books. There are books written on just yeast.
Yes,
let alone everything else.
Yeast, water, hops,
water profiles.
Water. Yeah.
Oh, you know what I figured out? You know what that flavor is with some of the local breweries around here? It tastes like the kind of little tangy thing you get with a Guinness. That's
that aftertaste you get.
That little aftertaste thing, which I don't necessarily like. I'm not a huge Guinness fan. I know a lot of people are.
I'm not a huge Guinness fan either.
I mean, drink it.
Yeah, if someone offers one, I'll enjoy it, but it's not my beer of choice, though, personally.
No. But in any case, that was the flavor I noticed.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, let's talk about music. I was coming over here today. We're not really talking about the quality of the song, but we can talk about music for a lot. But we can start with this horrible sound engineering job that was on the mainstream radio.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, serious, this girl sounded like she was in a box.
Wasn't intentional, huh?
No, I mean, this was the verse part where everything else is kind of quiet. It wasn't like some sort of radio thing, because they'll do that as an effect.
Oh,
no, this was not an effect. Unless this song was mixed for a video that I haven't seen, and in the entire video she's in a box.
She's in a box.
In which case that would make sense.
What
But
kind of music was it?
oh, it was on the country station.
Okay.
You know, I usually scroll until I find something that catches my interest. And today it was country.
Gotcha.
You know, the other day it was Tejano.
Some days it's Iron Maiden.
Yes, some days Iron Maiden. Depends. But in any case, no, it just had this really bad. It was very clearly a reverb that was added back in, right? So these vocals were mixed dry, recorded dry, which is usually the way you do studio stuff. Recorded as dry as possible, and then you add all that stuff in because it gives you more control.
Right. Okay.
You know, unless you're going to somehow try and do a live recording in a church or a big barn where you want the acoustics of that barn. But that is not an easy task. It actually doesn't sound better a lot of the times, just because placing microphones and catching that sound, microphones don't hear the same way we hear. Anyways, I was just...
What?
What?
I'm being facetious.
Yes. Thank you, oh sarcastic one.
Cheers.
Slancha. Slancha. Prost. So, point being, it was really bad.
Yeah.
It's like, who let this out into the world? Now, so that's assuming it was mixed by a professional studio. Now, if somehow someone managed to publish and got someone to put it on the radio, my attitude changes completely. It's like, good effort. You failed, but good effort. Because as someone who does a lot of his own recording and his own mixing,
You kind of know.
It's not easy.
Yeah. Or
And
sometimes you do know the process.
And sometimes you think, wow, it sounds really good. And so you push it, and then someone says, it sounds like you're singing in your own muffler.
That's not the way you're describing that. It sounds like they didn't have a good mixing setup. And so it sounded good in their little room with all their headphones.
Yeah.
But then when it got played in the real world, it just didn't sound right, you know?
Or just, I mean, it was over my car stereo, but it was so striking. It was so striking. The reverb that was on it, it's like, it sounded like she was in the vocal booth. You know, it sounded like she was in the vocal booth, and it was like maybe a really live vocal booth, so all wood paneling instead of all carpets and stuff.
So you were hearing all the reflections.
Yeah, it's just like, and it didn't gel. So when the rest of the band and the harmony singers came in, it didn't gel. It was just buried. You know, it's just like that kind of just buried this really bad reverb that they were using.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So, like I said, I didn't talk about that because it just struck me. I was just like, what the? How did you let this out? This sounds horrible. Even I could do better than this, and I am not a professional. Hold on, Coca-Cola sliding
Magically appearing under the door.
and Kool-Aid.
More Kool-Aid.
More Kool-Aid.
It's magic.
Oh, it's magic.
Okay. So, anyways, yeah, that was my experience. I also had another experience. Wow.
Did you get enough soda?
It's you've got enough sugar
My
to choke a
wife just
horse.
got home and
You
she's
only
sliding things under the garage door.
You only got 2 boxes there.
Only
The
2.
rest of it's gone.
I drink a soda like once every other month. You know?
Yeah, me too. I am like not a soda person, although I drink a lot of beer.
A
So
lot of beer. I drink all water more than anything. Yeah, that's kind of interesting in a disappointing way that something like that made it to the radio. It was mixed so poorly.
Yeah, it
our
just-
masters were poorly as well.
yeah, it was just like, what did you do here? Why did you do? Why?
Why? So, speaking of music,
Yeah, it's
I finally have a good arrangement, which I think is good because I wrote it, to better beer through metal. I wrote another set of riffs that actually work better for the verses part.
oh sweet.
And then the part that we were trying to do for verses, that's now the chorus. Well, and I changed it a little bit. I changed the timing on it. So not really the timing, but the pattern on it.
Do you have
So-
words for the chorus yet?
No, we'll get there.
Okay.
But
Just
and
wondering.
then the heavy part, I fine tuned it, and I'm going to use that as a bridge. We'll have some words on it as well.
Just bring back AC/DC.
I don't need to.
Okay, you're right. It's-
When you
I
hear
don't want you to be AC/DC.
when you hear the new riff, you'll be like, okay, that makes more sense now.
I want you to be Death Drool.
Death Drool.
Death Drool.
Ah. That's our
Yeah, that's our
make-believe
band.
and-
It's not make believe. It's real. Death Drool's real. Why you say it's make believe? What's wrong with you?
We're not signed yet.
Well, yeah. People just haven't heard us yet. They're gonna be blown away.
Wait,
It's
we are
gonna be awesome.
We're signed to Montana Nice Records.
That's right. Of course, nobody knows that guy either. So, sweet. That'll be awesome. I got the bass part on Drink 'Em All.
And if I'm not too drunk later when we're done brewing, I'll play it for you.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. So I got the bass part on Drink 'Em All. Sweet. Pretty much done. Gonna add the snare part. Part of it was just figuring out what kind of snare I wanted, and then realizing it's like, okay, you are the snare drum, you are not the lead guitarist. Stop it.
Stop it.
Just give a good solid snare beat underneath the song. That's what I was talking with one of, well, I don't say I was talking, on my Twitter channel, Jamie asked, and I was discussing with this composer that follows me out of Ireland, and he put out a tweet about how when he's writing something, his brain's like, oh, but put this in there. Why don't you put this in there? And he's like, no, just this is what I want. If something else, yeah, scope creep. And I mentioned to him that one of my problems, actually, no matter what style of music I'm writing, whether it's classical, country, rock and roll, popular stuff, I have this bad tendency to give everyone the most interesting part ever, which makes everything sound like really drunk, high acid jazz.
Oh, okay.
Which, if you've ever listened to acid jazz, that's really the edge of your listening experience right there.
Way
And then
off
make
guard.
everybody drunk and high.
All at the same time. Right?
All at the same time. No, it's just too much. Is the bass guitar playing this melodic stuff, the lead guitar playing something insane, the rhythm guitar playing super complex riffs, the drummer just going everywhere, and it's just like it's a freaking hot mess.
Oh, you mean like progressive music?
Yes.
Just kind of kidding.
But
Some progressive, it's like you guys are trying too hard. Stop it.
yeah, just not quite as gel. Well, and the thing that I wrote in my post was like the thing I always have to remind myself is, look, the bass guitarist knew what the bass guitar did when he chose to be a bass guitarist.
Right.
It's like the bass guitar has a very essential, fundamental, but not flashy role in the band. Occasionally you get bleed, which is bass guitar lead. I'll be here all week. Bleed, bass lead, bleed, bleed. Like the essential liquid inside, outside. Bleed.
Oh,
We're both laughing at you. This is great. Anyhow,
I get it.
point being is like occasionally the bass guitar gets a lead part, but for the most part, it is solid. It's like, look, man, what I need is dum dum dum
right.
dum.
Stick to those low frequencies. That's where you need to be.
Dum 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 dum. I mean, it'll do these builds, and it's very critical, but it is not the fruity, psychic, neurotic lead guitar guy. It's not.
So, in other words, not Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers. He's a bleed player.
He is a bleed player, right? And that works. But if you listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers, I guarantee you, The bass guitar part is not quite as crazy as all that.
No, he has parts, but yeah,
Yeah.
most of the time he's just carrying the bass like a bass
Right.
player. You know?
Now he does
Yeah.
now in his stage show, which I haven't watched a lot of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't know, naked dudes, socks, genitalia. It's just kind of
That
turned
was
me
a
on.
long time ago.
It happened once. That's it.
We know they're making fun of, right?
No, actually,
Beatles.
still the Beatles.
Yeah,
I don't
they were
remember.
making fun of the Abbey Road thing. I
Going
believe.
to Abbey Road. Abbey Road was no shoes. This was no clothes and a sock in a wrong place.
Well, shock trooper, man.
I guess so.
Well,
Not nice stuff.
that's what that was. If I remember right, the Chili Peppers were making fun of the Abbey Road.
Right,
Out
with the
the-
whole bare feet.
Yeah. But they were crossing the same. I think they took a picture of the same. Maybe a bit of Photoshop. I don't know. But it looked like they were on the same area. But yeah, naked with socks on their junk. Yeah. Speaking of Red Hot Chili Peppers, they're going to be in Seattle, putting on a show. Just for I'm not going to make it, but just for giggles, I priced the tickets, and nope.
How much?
Oh, depending, like even nosebleed seats seem to be like $200 or $300. No, I'm exaggerating, but the ones I looked at were down, relatively close up. We're talking $2,000 or $3,000 a ticket, man.
Are you serious?
But there were a lot of them resells though. People were gouging other people.
Oh. Well, yeah,
I couldn't tell what the original price was because those tickets probably sold like, within hours after they went on sale. Whenever that time happened, whenever that was.
Yeah. Even as a musician and someone who would love to make his living being a musician, some of this stuff is overrated, dude.
Yeah, and another one is ridiculous. There's going to be that big butt metal thing going on in Seattle. Def Leppard, Poison, Motley Crue, and Joan Jett. So it's like a total 80s flashback concert at the same stadium that Peppers are going to be playing. Again, tickets, a couple $1,000, man. Down in the closer areas,
You know what that is?
Yeah.
It's middle-aged guys like me and you who have well-established careers and
Right.
can finally afford to go to their favorite
I couldn't see them in
concerts.
1987, but I can go now.
Right, I'm gonna go. How do you see my Def Leppard shirt? Yeah, oh God, take it off. Text.
No.
No, that's not an offer to have sex. I mean, no, don't ever wear that again. Here's your Stanley shirt. Yeah, the one with the tape measure on it.
On your
Wear
car
that.
hard to understand.
You are not the man you were in '80s, sweetie. I'm sorry. No, please don't. I'm divorcing you. You're going to the concert in that shirt. I don't know you. Don't come home. Your locks are gonna be changed.
You're not sitting with me.
Not happening.
God, honestly, I know it's kind of a joke, but like 2010 or something, I forget what year it was. I took Brandy to see Bon Jovi there in Seattle, and there was a lot of the older crowd that were there.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh yeah.
Well, it's like that Tool concert you took me to.
Oh yeah.
You were mentioning this is the weirdest concert I've ever been to, and I
Everybody
mentioned
was so
they
quiet.
were sitting down and they were just listening. I mean, there was the two potheads like 5 feet away from us that were smoking cigarettes and pot. If they lit up one more cigarette, geez, I'd have joined them. It's like, if you're breaking the rules, I'm breaking the rules. But no, I mean, I mentioned to you at the concert, it's like, Steve, everyone here's 45, 50.
Wait.
They're not 19-year-olds screaming anymore. They're like, yeah, we want to hear this, but man, my feet hurt.
I'm gonna sit down for a little bit. Yeah, near the end of the concert, most people were on their feet by the end. But that's when they kind of had their climatic ending type stuff
Even
going
I
on.
stood up, but that's because I couldn't see if I didn't.
Oh, I can't see now.
I had a great time at that show, by the way. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily the music I grew up on, of course.
Right. Well, that's okay. You still enjoyed the atmosphere and experience.
I had a heck of a time. I even liked that weird. What was the name of that group? Hi, Brandy.
I don't remember their name.
They were relatively unknown out of New York.
Out of New York, yeah. Little trio, kind of
Blonde, redheaded blonde.
redhead blonde, or
Redhead
blonde, or
blonde or
redhead or
something.
something like that. Yeah.
I even liked their stuff. Kind of weird. Their whole stage show was a little
Kind
bit.
of had that avant-garde style to it. You know?
Or,
But they did well though. They played well as musicians, I thought.
well, I thought the music was good. It was just, I guess I was watching like the movements and stuff. I don't know. I guess I'm not much of
And
a.
that singer was very tall.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's actually Asian.
I know.
Yeah.
I went to their website, which is a horrible website, by the way.
I went and looked them up.
It was bad. It was hard. It was like hard.
But
to
it was
look at.
interesting to see such a tall Asian because kind of genetically Asians aren't that tall. You
Oh,
know?
but there's the basketball player.
Yeah.
Are you stereotyping
Oh, yeah.
Asians?
No.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. That one, the guy from China, he's huge, man.
He's like creeping up on 7 feet.
Yeah.
But that's because, I mean, the truth is, I mean, for one thing, genetics is weird. You know,
There's always anomalies, man.
you get the right things, click, 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 click. It's
Yeah, we
like,
did that. Now we're going from music to genetics.
yes, now this happens all the time. We're good like that.
Eventually, we'll make it back to music, but we're going to go on this other tangent for a
But we're
while.
going to talk about genetics for a
Make
minute.
enough tangents, you get back to your the original line, you know. So.
I mean, really, but it requires truthfully at least 360 tangents. I don't know if we have that much time. Oh, what am I at?
Speaking of time.
140. I'm at 140.
How are you doing over there?
We're closing in on it. We're closing in on it. So are you going to cold steep today?
I'm going to steep the
Okay.
I'm doing that for a while. What he's asking me is, if you notice, he tied his bag off and put it in the water as he kicked off his heat, and so the grains were steeping longer than the 30 minutes at temperature, which it's called cold steeping. I'm doing something different the last few times where I'm getting my water to temperature first before I steep. I want to see if I notice any differences in the beer. So, which honestly I haven't really been paying attention because I like drinking the beer.
Well, that's the problem. I just don't have a good enough taste memory. I freaking like. Remember that steak we had 19 years ago? No. I don't remember the steak I had 19 minutes ago. It's because we didn't have steak. I know I'm being.
That's called sarcasm. Do I really have to explain it? I'll do a semi-cold steep.
I'm almost there. I'm at 145.
Actually, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna stick to my guns and wait.
No, stick to your guns, dude. I mean, you're still gonna start your water. So, anyway, yeah. So genetics, interesting. I mean, and the other thing is, in the ancient world, there's a lot of gaps in the written record. I mean, they do think that there was, they have records of blonde-haired, blue-eyed peoples.
Oh yeah.
Who were living amongst the people that were classically not blonde-haired and blue-eyed.
Yeah, those genetic anomalies.
I mean, and people explored. I mean, you had all the Romans went a lot of places, and so it's like, yeah. But, things ended up the way they ended up for the most part.
Are you a temp or a book?
And set time.
All right. Let's get some fire going. Make sure I sound low enough.
So why did you crawl in under the door if you knew you couldn't walk across there?
I was asking if I could.
Well, of course you can. You're in now, but come on, sweetie.
You know what we do? Go.
Seriously.
Come on, go.
Seriously.
Get by.
Love you, kiddo, but geez, man.
You know what we do, kiddo. Every 2 weeks.
So, tell me about the school Chase is going to. Seriously. Because that's a very interesting thing to me, and that's like we're talking about. And we have no rules on what. We have a few rules as to what we talk about. We've decided no super hot button top controversials.
Yeah, we're going to
Not
try to
gonna touch
avoid politics
those.
and religion and things. Other than maybe just to establish context, but rather than discussing them, this broadcast is meant to bring people together for mainly about beer and stuff, but we just happen to talk about many things while we brew.
Well, that's because we just kind of ran out.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times can
We used to talk about beer
yeast?
and the brewing process. Yeah, I know, yeast or whatever, but now we just...
I mean, teachers love to do that. They will talk about the same topic every day.
Right.
It's like, and this is yeast. And this is like you said that yesterday. Yes, but today's today. So we're doing the yeast. So, anyways, we don't do the super hot topics. We're not going to do anything that people are killing themselves over right now.
I mean,
We do something like...
We have touched on some grounds in the past, but that was by accident. It just kind of happened to go that way. We didn't intend for that to happen.
Somebody got triggered. The washing machine.
Yeah, I know.
Your washing machine has zero self-control, man. You need to talk to it. Well, I mean, we'll talk about things that are like differences of opinions and things like I'm a big government guy, I'm a small government guy. Okay, so that is like a philosophy.
Right.
That's an interesting conversation.
Yeah. Don't confuse folks out there. Don't confuse our philosophies with, just like opinions, I guess, or just over like this is the way it is. No, this is just what we believe, how we believe.
No, there's just
Okay.
safe. There's safer topics, and then
Yeah.
there's things that will just blow up the world.
Exactly.
So what I want to hear about is this really cool school that Chase is going to, because Chase being Stephanie's kid, who happens to be an amazing motocross athlete. Do you call them athletes?
I don't know.
Yeah. Let them there now.
All right. So seriously, so it's an online homeschool, not homeschool thing. Where's you log into it?
You log into it, you have teachers that you have 1 week where you're live with teacher, 1 week where it's pre-recorded. You have access to your teacher all day, every day of the week.
Like 7 days a week.
Yeah, because they're on the weekends.
Oh,
If the
okay.
kid needs extra help. Yeah, it's every class that your kid takes, their assignments, their homework, the education is geared towards your kid. So it's not, this is our material, everyone learns the exact same thing.
Right.
It's, hey, look, what do you
Tailored.
need? How do you learn? How do you focus? You have meetings when you sign up with your kid where they'll take assessments and talk to the teachers, which are called coaches, because they're like, we're coaching your kid to learn to the best of their ability.
Right.
So it's not, hey, look, this is the only way you learn. Okay, you're having issues here, so let's focus more on this, get you up to speed. We'll kind of throw that to the wayside here.
Mm-hmm.
And
No, I'm just a big fan of alternative learning styles because I think this is the one that triggered Steve when we started talking about education. I was right there with you. I just wasn't as violent. I was.
Sorry, I'm not gonna be triggered.
I was like the cheerleader section. Rah, Cisco Bob, Steve can't do it. No one can. Yay!
Chase,
But
he's done a lot of different schooling. We've done the generic, typical school.
Yeah, public school,
class
regular
for
old public
8 hours
school.
a day, 6 hours a day. He's
Uh-huh.
done the solely online where you're on a computer for 5-6 hours a day. We did the homeschool where it's set up more like college.
Well, that knows. The online one where it's 100% online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to figure out what's a good mixture between that'll work for him.
and I know you're ahead of me. You want more?
Yes.
Okay, sweet.
We have this thing going where we try to mess with each other. Whoever finishes second. It's like, well, waiting on you,
And so it's solely online. The teachers teach, the
Uh-huh.
parents help.
Well, sure. I mean,
And it's not set up where you have to be online for X amount of time a day.
right.
And even the recorded assignments or recorded lessons or in, where you kind of like a Zoom class,
Uh-huh.
those aren't even required. It's not mandatory to show up to any of those. It's recommended.
Sure.
But every Monday they say,
It's clear over here, Steve.
these are your assignments. This is what you have to do, and it's due the following Sunday.
Okay.
So you have all your assignments, and they put them up to, I think, like 6 or 9 weeks in advance.
Mm-hmm.
So you can work ahead for 2 months.
Right.
Easy. And get all of it done and not touch schoolwork for 2 months. And they geared that for kids who are athletes and compete. So that if they know they're going to a week-long event, they can get that homework done for that week and not have to stress or worry about school.
Right.
They also, it's a school that believes you learn just as much out of the classroom as in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And so communication is what they're built on. If you're communicating with your teacher and you need help, extra time or whatnot, they're going to work with you. Not, your SOL. Because we've noticed that a lot in the public school system is if you failed an assignment, you didn't get the feedback of, hey, this is what you did wrong, this is how we can fix it. It was you screwed, your SOL, sucks to be you.
It's not so much SOL. I mean, it's just, I think the public school system has some limitations. I mean,
A lot of limitations, unfortunately.
Because you got to think the public school system is dealing with a broad range of intellectual abilities. You've got everything from Susan the Genius to Bobby the Rock,
And they gotta make
That's
all those
trademark.
kids fit in the same exact mold. They have to learn the same exact information and pass this test for the school to
Mhm.
continue being funded to teach the
Right.
next set of kids.
And the thing is, I am not an anti-standardized test person because you have to evaluate how well your system is working.
Right.
And if someone would come up with a better method of evaluation that was like replicable and verifiable and all that, then it's like, okay, that's good. But I don't think anyone really has beyond
So
testing.
standardized testing is, like you said, plus it's nice to use it as a thing like, hey, what are you having issues with? But say in my case, I suck at tests. I ace everything else, but I can't do the test.
Mm.
So you have the standardized tests that would show me down here when all of my grades, histories, and teachers say you're up here. Well, a standardized test for school funding doesn't take that into account. They're not like, well, this person's fine, they just can't take a test.
Yeah.
And so a standardized test shouldn't be the main reason for school funding.
So way back in the day, maybe even like 20 years ago, there were some there were some Microsoft certifications, and the way they tested you, I don't know if this will work for school, but I think it might. The way it tested you was if you were answering your questions, bam, 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 like it was obviously in the material, it would end the test sooner. But if you were not doing so well, it would give you more questions. And in the end, through some kind of algorithm, it would determine, your percentages and all that.
Uh-huh.
I think that could be applied. Obviously, it's going to have to be computer-based if they're going to do a standardized testing. But if they'll know what students are taking longer and what students are answering the questions a lot quicker based off how many questions they have to answer to get to a certain point. Obviously, they'll have to put a limit on it. Like, okay, we'll give them 30. But if he answers, let's say he or she, they, whatever, let's say if he answers 12 within this amount of time, we can assume he or she, they know the material for that subject. If someone needs to answer all 30, that's fine. They're still answering all 30, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think that might be able to drill down a little more where
It's
students
still-
might be struggling or.
It's still a standardized test, though.
Right, but it's a way to make it less general, but a little more specific to the kids. Because like you said, every kid learns differently.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to
You know who's struggling more.
You'd have to really adapt the method,
Right.
you'd have to adapt the method in which the tests were administered. I mean,
That have to be electronically.
yeah,
Well,
even the
Standard
kids
tests
sitting in
most
the
of time are
school,
electronic now. They're all
just sitting
online.
there, it's
My
like,
cousin's
okay,
bubbling all the stuff over forever today.
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
now
like
they're
I
all
said,
online.
Susie the genius, she's done with the test in 15 minutes
Right.
because the algorithm said this chick knows it.
Right.
And now she's sitting there, and meanwhile, Bobby the Rock, the test keeps going and going.
Oh, but
and
it has a
going.
limit though. It doesn't just keep going forever. It just
Well,
there's a limit,
obviously, but the thing is even if the time limit's really relaxed, because actually there is a thing called white coat syndrome. We watched that video. How I sound when I practice alone,
Oh, right,
versus
right.
when someone's watching.
Yeah.
That's a real thing, man. I watched Timo do it. I watched Timo nail something. And then he gets up on stage and there's 50, 60 people watching him and suddenly,
Oh no. Yeah.
which is why. But you know how you beat that? You know how musicians beat it? You play that stuff until you can play it in your sleep.
Right.
You can talk about Einsteinian physics
You don't have to.
while
think
playing Rachmaninoff's third because you know it so well.
Right. You don't have to think about it. You just do it.
And that's really what kids should do.
I think a lot of the problem isn't that there's standardized testing. It's when that's how you get money. Now you have the issue where a lot of teachers, when you're coming up to that 3-month window of that test, they start teaching to that test.
Yeah.
So are kids
Right.
actually
When
getting
you're learning
the education they need to survive in life, or are they learning how to take a test?
how to take a test. Yeah.
Well,
And
that's
that's it.
important.
And that's the problem. Like the online school, they do a test. That's how they figure out what material know, what you don't know, what they need to do, and they also have a little test on there to kind of show them how you will kind of learn.
Yeah.
Almost like a personality trait test or whatnot
Yeah, I
that they
got you.
have.
It's like how well.
And so it's
in
not
what
that they
method
don't
does
do
the child
tests, it's they don't say, hey, this is how we get funding by passing this test. It's, hey, look, we took the test, you know this material, you don't know this material, so this is where we're gonna start and this is what we're gonna build on.
Mhm.
So testing does have a place.
Well,
It
just
doesn't have a place.
get rid of the word testing and use something like a bigger word. And this is double speak, but I guess it has a point in this case. It's like some sort of evaluation method. You gotta know if what you're doing works.
Yeah, and you know.
It's just like with beer. You know, it's like, well, I'm going to do this. Well, does it make your beer taste better? I don't know.
I don't know. We'll find out.
I don't have a way. I mean, we always have a way of testing our beer. Does it taste good? Yes. What did you change? Well, I hot steeped instead of cold steeped, and I think that really changed the flavor of my beer. Oh, okay. There, we've evaluated something. Is what I'm doing working? You know, if you don't know what you're doing is working, then, but of course, then you have to figure out. Well, how can we do it better? And they've tried different things. I think a lot of the old school stuff that really was better. Sentence diagramming, it is horribly boring.
Oh, right.
But when you understand how a sentence is put together, then you can write intelligently.
In times tables, memorizing times tables. The
Yes.
schools seem to have gotten away from doing that. They're
No, you
teaching
still
these.
memorize.
Do they? I mean, you're
I don't
closer
know,
to it than I
working
am.
with my children on their homework and just some of this weird esoteric, what they call it, Common Core style of solving math. It's like, why are we reinventing the wheel? Reinventing the wheel here. You know what I mean?
The theory
I
behind
do not like
Common
Common
Core,
Core at all.
from how some teachers that I went to high school with were talking and explaining some of the theories behind Common Core, was to teach younger kids the foundation and building blocks of more advanced math. So when I was in school and I went from, say, 8th grade math to pre-algebra, I was like, you know, kids are like, what the heck? Now we're adding letters? So now it's...
I don't know, in 7th grade, we had, when I was in 7th grade in the dark ages, we had an introduction to algebra with variables and stuff,
But that's pre-algebra.
you know?
But when they're starting little, they'll add smaller numbers, and it's just
Well,
they're teaching them the
I saw the
ABCs and 1, 2,
algebraic-
3s.
I saw the algebraic stuff that they were teaching, but she was in 3rd and 4th grade. They're not ready for that yet, you know?
Yeah, I think
You know?
one of the problems is we have this idea that elementary school students' brains are working on the level of a high schooler's. It's like, and so we're supposed to teach critical thinking and we're supposed to teach foundational concepts. It's like, that's not what you learn.
I saw what they did. They're making it more rigorous to get them more advanced. We're trying to play catch up with the world right now. We're doing it wrong, I think. You know, personally.
Are we really that behind?
Yeah,
I don't think we're the top 10 in any.
ranks like 26 in the world right now in education, if not worse. We have pretty crappy
So,
education. You
but
know why? Because we keep dumbing things down.
Common Core
Yeah.
was also tried to set up as a way to unify education across the board in all states.
I know. It was the same.
Because some
curriculum.
states, you'd go to school and you would be in 8th grade and you'd be like, oh, look, I'm average. And then you'd go to another state and you're like,
Right. Depends
What
on
the
on
heck am I
level of the
learning?
state, yeah.
you couldn't go mid-year from one state to another or one school district
Right, I
to
get it.
another and
Right.
know the same
now
stuff.
we
Or
get
you go to
into
a state,
big
you're like on
government
top of the
versus
world.
small government.
Nope,
And
not touching it.
go.
Nope.
I'm ready.
We're not going there.
I can't believe it. They've abandoned me.
But
So
that
ready.
was the
I was
theory.
so ready. It's not mad political. It's just
Whether it was successful or not, the theory behind Common Core was to level the playing field between all states, make it where you have certain information, every grade, every school across the board needs to learn, know, and teach,
Okay, I see the
as
point.
well as teach the very basic building blocks, instead of just 1 plus 1, and then all of a sudden it's 1A times 2. You'll know they'll add
But they need
1A
to
plus
do it
1.
differently then.
They do.
I think Steve has a
It's-
good point, though. I think the real problem is that we have lowered our standards so far.
We keep making it easier for students to pass.
So I think I am the most recent brick and mortar college person here, right?
Probably brick and mortar, yeah.
That's what I mean, brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Because so
Yeah,
I
haven't sat in
graduated-
college classroom since the early 2000s. So.
right. Well, I graduated in 16.
Right.
That's when I got my last degree. And that was all brick and mortar. And I can tell you, I got straight A's with the exception of one teacher who gave me a B plus. So that's 4 years of college because I went to 4 years and one teacher gave me a B plus and it was deserved, you know? And I remember he actually asked me to take the class. He's like, I need you to take this class.
You told me about this, yeah.
And I said, Dr. Hansen, I'm overloaded. He's like, if you don't take the class, they won't let me hold the class. You said you want to, please take the class. I'm like, all right, so here's the deal. I will take the class, but you can't be upset when I get a C. He's like, I will not judge you for getting a C. I did not get a C. I got a B plus.
Right.
But I only had so much energy in my life.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I was driving 90 miles one way every day to go to school.
Right.
You know, fortunately, I love driving. You know,
Yeah.
and after a full career in the Navy, that whole thing of sleeping, who needs that?
Overrated.
Overrated. We're all veterans here.
That's true.
Yeah, every single one of us in this garage is a veteran. So in any case, I said, okay, I'll take it. He was the only B plus, and I had a lot of fun with that class.
Right.
And instead of taking, so it was a conducting class, right?
But there's more to than you would think.
Hey, we have a comment.
There is. Do we have a comment? I have my phone right here. Are you sure?
Nathan?
You petty and
Hi, Nathan.
Okay.
We didn't.
How-
Hope we didn't see the. It's not timestamped.
Oh,
So hopefully you're still with us, man.
well, if you're not, okay.
Maybe next time.
Pop back in. Watch the replay. What was I talking about? Oh, so
You
we're
got
talking
another
about.
comment.
We're
Oh,
talking about.
maybe still. I can't. It's so far away. I can't see.
Oh, we're
it.
totally gonna change. LOL, he says.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're gonna finish this conversation and then we'll try and keep up on what you're saying. Only took 10 minutes. Oh, good.
So we're
Yes.
not that far behind.
Which perhaps
Are you not entertained?
Yes. we are the most professional broadcast this side of the Columbia River.
So before we continue our education, real quick, Nathan, are you drinking beer?
Hopefully,
Hopefully.
you need to break out your phone, man. Then it'll look great. The metrics will look great. It'll be like there's 8 viewers, even though 7 of them are us.
Right. Yeah.
All right, sweet. So this is Tie Dye Shark from Discord.
Oh, okay.
He's the guy that I told you. I was like, yeah, American.
Right,
part
right.
of Peter's Discord group.
Right,
Nice,
okay.
man. Black and tan.
Black and tan.
Sweet,
I
dude.
used to drink those when I was in Japan. Interestingly enough, black and tans, and they would make them fresh with the
Mhm.
food and the bass ale. It was fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I've ever had one. Now that I think about it. What is he talking about? So,
Okay,
anyways, really quick. So we can finish up that, and then
Let
we'll
me
try and
know.
respond a
I'll
little
help
more.
monitor the comments too.
Yeah, a little more to Nathan and stuff. In any case, so that was my only B plus, and I am telling you, I should have gotten C's and D's in some of my classes. And I'm not bothered by that because, like I said, I was driving 90 miles one way. That's a long way to get up in the morning, drive an hour and a half, go to school all day, drive an hour and a half then, and take care of my wife and my kids.
I just went to Skagit.
What's that?
I just went to Skagit.
Yeah, I probably could have done that.
All right.
I took some brick and mortar classes.
Yeah. Well, I forget why I chose SPU because it
It
fit
was
in.
so Skagit was a community college as well. So if you wanted
Right.
more of a university, because that's where your study went, it
Hey.
makes more sense than Skagit.
Well, there were 2 reasons. It fit in with my whole worldview. SPU is, they're a Christian private school,
There's
and
that word private school again.
well, private schools in general are able to provide better services. I mean, and that's why you pay for them.
That's the selling the car. If anyone in Washington wants a car.
Yeah.
You didn't bring
Anybody
a
want to
tablet,
buy
did
a car? What?
you? You didn't bring a tablet, did you?
I did.
Yeah, you can put your tablet up. That could be the monitor on the side.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Anyhow, point being, I should not have gotten straight A's. I should not. I was learning cello. I was learning classical guitar. I was taking voice lessons. I was in choir. I was in the band. I was taking Spanish. I was taking all of my requisite music stuff.
Right.
I was taking like
You had a
22
you
to
had a full
24
plate.
credits.
That makes
I was
my
actually
PhD heart very happy.
I actually had to argue my case and bring my own transcripts from the school. It's like, well, we're not sure that you can do this. I'm like, look, these are all straight A's from your school. I can do this,
Right.
but I should not have been able to do that. And the reason I was able to do that,
Because the Navy teaches you how to function on no sleep.
well, that you're right.
That, yeah.
Well, actually, that was part of it. We could talk about that just a little bit too. I mean, the Navy.
Military in general.
Not so much the Navy, but it was probably because of the way the Navy is. I had to learn some skills. I had to learn some skills like make a decision, go with it,
Right.
right?
Don't
And that-
Just do it.
Do it.
Yeah, I was talking with one professor. He's like, he said, I forget what he was saying, but he said, well, we were talking about writing music, and he's like, well, what instruments do you really like? I was like, well, I'm good at guitar. I'm good at the voice. You know, I'm familiar with wind instruments. He's like, great. You can't write music for any of those. I'm like, well, that sucks. He's like, how do you feel about woodwinds? I don't like them. Good. Let's write something for woodwinds. And so we're sitting there. He's like, so I want you to take a week or two, figure out what woodwind you'd like to write for. And I looked at him in 20 seconds and I said, let's write something for the bassoon. And he's like, okay. It's like, in fact, here's what we're going to do. We're going to write an unaccompanied piece, 4 unaccompanied pieces for the bassoon, and we're going to make it sound good. And he's like, well, you could take a couple weeks. I was like, there are 9 weeks in this class. No, I don't take a couple weeks. We start
what I'm doing.
now.
This is what we're doing right now.
I'm going to figure out how to do this. And that really did serve me well, that whole concept of go, make a decision, and that is what you're doing, as opposed to waffling. And then at week 8 of your 9-week course, it's like, oh, what should I do?
Right.
Like, kind of late, Junior.
We're better because you have to procrastinate well.
Yeah, procrastinate well.
So, funny story, when I was taking all my English classes,
Uh-huh.
my best grades on all my papers that I ever wrote were the ones that I wrote a day or two before it was due. I got straight A's. Like 2 papers I wrote and I pre-planned and I worked consistently through it. I didn't procrastinate. I got like a B or a C on it. So I'm like, shh.
I told a joke once. It's like
Novice right now. I can't comments. I'm in as well.
do you have the app? Well, you cannot see the comments.
Yeah.
And then come stop on that phone.
It took me a minute to figure that out. But yeah, you can't. You have to download the app to participate in the live chat.
Gotcha. All right, that's fine. I get it.
Yeah,
I don't want.
I was not
I
happy
don't want.
about that either.
I don't want Google or YouTube on my phone.
I have all the apps.
So.
I have all. You like all the apps.
All right. Time for
I
me
think I
to
got
get
like 6
started.
pages of apps because my ADHD brain works that way. Something shiny happens, I download it, I play it, and then I
I
forget
have
it
a feeling.
exists.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Did I have the aiming flavor?
Did your phone go out?
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling.
All right. Well, let's interact with Nathan now that we
Well,
wrapped up our
Hello,
education.
David.
Oh, that sucked.
His last.
Oh,
That's fine. That's why it's in a bag.
What happened?
I dropped my
5-second
my
rule.
sack.
Your dusty sack.
My dusty sack.
It was dusty. Particles was coming off.
Sure. That's what we were talking about. Actually, that's the nice thing about. See, that's good double entendre because an 8-year-old will not go further than that,
Until
And
they
a-
see your face.
and a 40-year-old will definitely
Shake their head.
yeah.
Which is
will
why
say,
Shrek
okay.
was so popular.
Actually, it is. Shrek had a lot of good double entendre stuff that
All right.
you could get away with and go over the top.
Start my steep.
Nathan, if you are still there, you brew, don't you? Do you have anything brewing right now? While we're waiting. So I was looking into this restream thing. I think it has potential.
Restream.
Yeah. You can do like 2 platforms for free. You can do 2 platforms at the same time. So we could do Twitch, which really is. Yep, so many comments. Yeah, they're all from you, man.
Well, we only have 2 viewers, Nathan and me.
Yeah, what happened to your boy, man? What
He's
did
not
we?
here. He's at his dad's house.
He doesn't watch us
He doesn't
anymore.
watch us. Does he know?
Then you know what? I will kick him up and down the street.
Well, I don't know. What
I'll-
did he watch on? What did he watch on? Did he watch on YouTube? Was
I think he
YouTube?
watched it on the old one.
Yeah, it's gone. If he was using Haps, actually, Haps is gone with us.
Yeah, Haps died.
So he may not know that you do it on YouTube.
Yeah, we're only
Yeah.
on YouTube now, whereas we used
Although-
to
Oh, let him know.
multicast. You know.
So this restream for free, you can do 2, and then you can pay for a service.
Okay.
And I think you can do like their bottom level is like 7 or 8.
Oh, well, that's all you really need.
Yeah, you won't. I mean, the professional level is like 30 plus, and it goes nuts from there.
I mean, that's all we would need would be like 7 platforms.
Right.
You know.
7 platforms, if that. But I think it would be cool if we started out free.
Right. Just got started.
Oh, somebody makes mead.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
You two
So-
should talk.
I made mead once. It was
Oh, okay,
once.
okay.
And both Wendy and I decided. So my problem is So tell me something, Nathan. Ooh, he's got a maple mellowing. Do you like it when it's closer to the wine stage, like more dry, or do you like to drink new mead? Because me and Wendy, we like new mead, like 2 weeks.
I like new.
Or it's more sweet kind of
It's
thing.
very
Yeah.
sweet.
Okay.
It's got the carbonation, just kind of natural carbonation from the yeast doing their thing.
Right.
I'll
be right back. I gotta step off for a second.
Of course. Here we go. And now we go for Jamie alone.
So
Except
what I wasn't
Stephanie.
saying about Chase, the school I'm sitting Chase to, once a month they
Yeah.
get a professional athlete do a webinar with the kids.
Woo!
Like, and some of these are Chase's motocross idols.
I'm a new mead too guy. I'm not a big wine guy. Keep going.
And so, and there's like, for motocross, there's like Ken Roxon, Jet Lawrence, and just big name professional guys that Chase looks up to in the racing dirt bike community.
Uh-huh.
They'll do a good 2-hour webinar once a month and talk to the kids about the importance of time management and practice, education, training.
Well, sure.
the
And
whole
that's
nine yards.
like,
And some of these guys actually went through that school. So funny
well,
enough,
how old is it?
it's been around for quite a while.
I mean, obviously. I mean, because
It was designed, so
these guys have to be adults.
the owner of the place created it for her son who wanted to be a professional racer. And
Uh-huh.
they just didn't have the freedom to race competitively and keep up on education. So she created this school and program based out of California for her son. And it has just grown from there.
But
They
this
have-
had to be like 20 years ago. I
I
mean,
don't know if
if
it's 20
you've
years.
got professional
some of
level
them have
athletes
it,
have
and
gone through
So you
it.
gotta remember, some professional athletes are under the age of 25. in
Right, but
motocross.
that's still
So some of these kids, when they talk, I think are like 18, 19 years old.
okay.
Some are older, some are younger, you know.
What do you mean? What do you mean by the mead bite? Oh, it's time! It's time. Where's my phone?
Your phone is there. Your extracts are right there by the door.
Sweet. Yep. In the
Here's are
sun.
the pills in.
Okay, so yeah, let me know what you mean by the mead bite. Now it's time to do some stuff.
Don't squeeze it.
I just want to squeeze it now.
You can squeeze it over there. That's all you want.
Well, that's no fun.
Don't squeeze it into his wart, though.
No more girls on the show. It goes the wrong way.
No, because now I gotta learn how to do all this stuff. Because now that I'm
What
moving,
stuff?
you know, across the country,
What? How to make your own beer?
Just watch back episodes. You'll learn a lot.
There's lots of episodes.
I may have to join in.
They're not overly offensive either.
Some of them are, but
No,
no. If you really want
as
to
in the
learn how to make
military,
beer,
nothing
and stuff,
offensive.
That's true. You have a pretty
just
good.
be here every other Sunday when we brew. And you'll learn a lot. Just watch.
You brew with us.
Yeah.
Get all
I
ready
might.
to go.
We'll
I'll
just be
have it
like,
all set up.
all right, Stephanie, do A, B, C, D, and E. Get your hands on.
You're just gonna randomly get a comment. Help!
That's fine.
But
We
Matt likes the lighter ones.
okay.
The lighter beers.
Well, you might like that yellow that I. It's
Well, I
talking
mean,
to
there's
today.
been more than one that he's tasted of yours. Like one of the ones, I think it's the one that you used his hops for.
Oh, the accidental
Oh,
water.
the one where
I think he actually really liked that one.
Really? That's cool.
But there's been more than a few where he's like darker and he's like, this is good. He doesn't like the Christmas tree hop.
Right.
I mean, he
Yeah.
drinks like Bud Light.
No, I know he's not a
or,
hoppy beer guy, and that's
He
fine.
likes
Yeah.
heavies, stuff like that. But he's had a few of your darker ones.
You probably like this one because it's not super hoppy. No, that's fine.
But
In fact, earlier today, before we started doing this, I kegged in a white IPA.
What is mine? The golden or the pilsen?
Yours is the Pilsen.
Okay.
And if you're not sure, your instructions are right there because I might be second guessing myself actually.
no, I think when you pull
That would
out-
require me to read.
Okay,
How
I'll
dare
read
you.
for you. Okay. Yeah, mine's the golden, so you're good. I have a white IPA that I kegged earlier, and I'm just gonna let it. I'm not gonna cold crash it, but I'm gonna let it sit for 24 to get nice and cold. And I'm gonna throw the the gas on it, and then I also later today, it's not on camera, but later today I will be kegging a regular pale ale. Again, one of the Northwest Brewers Supply kits. So, and I have the Resurrection Ale on tap now, and I have a lager that's been lagering for over a month now. I think next week I'm going to keg that one.
I was gonna say, how about? I think that one's probably ready, man.
Yeah, I think next week I'm going to go ahead and keg it, probably on Friday. So.
Good idea.
Or maybe even during the week I'll keg it. That way it's drinkable by Friday. But then again, I have all those other beers that I'll be drinking on Friday, so I'll wait till the weekend.
So,
as I change my mind constantly on camera here.
So
what did he say about the meat?
Well, he said that he likes it new. He likes the taste of the mead bite when it's just ready enough to drink. It's got that sharp alcohol bite that slaps you.
Sounds like a good time.
Oh, it sounds cool fun.
Well, I definitely like. So I did like the new mead. So do you use honey, Nathan? Do you use honey as your primary sugar, or with this maple mead, how do you get the maple flavor in there? Is that enlighten us? We want to learn.
For that. So Chase's new school is both internationally and regionally accredited.
How do you do that?
I don't know. I'm not an educator, but if he transfers to a school like overseas or something,
you need a label.
They'll generally accept
I do need a label.
Those high school credits or whatever year you're in.
We need to have special guests more often, so I'm not alone when you go to do these things.
And so, but what's cool is, so for kids who race motocross, most of these kids, their goal is to hit a national race called Loretta Lynn's.
Yeah,
the Loretta Lynn Ranch in Tennessee.
So that's what next more often is finally.
And
in the
you have certain regions, so you have to hit area qualifiers, regional qualifiers before you get to nationals.
Right.
And so every kid, and it's in every region, I think 3 or 4 kids get a ticket per class to this race.
Okay.
So that is the championships of amateur racing. That is where you want to go. And so
so keep going.
And it's of course in Tennessee. Well, what's cool is in this online school, you actually get to walk across a stage in cap and gown to graduate high school. And that graduation is at the Loretta Lynn Championships. So during the week of the championship, the national races, you get to graduate high school.
Oh, nice. That's kind of cool. Okay, let's see. This maple was an experiment. Used half honey, half maple. Are we talking maple syrup? Maple syrup? Like real maple syrup? Fake maple syrup? Like high fructose corn syrup with maple coloring?
No, I've never made beef.
I don't know.
My best friend.
Tell me you're better than that, man.
My best friend moved to Michigan, and she, for Christmas, sent me homemade pure maple syrup.
Oh, wow. Real maple.
Real.
Yeah.
Real from Vermont. Okay, so
Michigan.
Check it out. All right. This sounds interesting. So we got a maple experiment, added the maple, so it's half honey, half maple, but added the maple during the second fermentation so the yeast didn't eat all the maple flavor. So do you rack mead like we rack beer? Like go from a primary fermentation into a secondary fermentation to set stuff out? I don't know. Our mead didn't make it. We drank it all before it got that far.
It happens.
It's fine.
I know you gave me some of your mead, which that was the first time I ever had it. I thought it was good. I had nothing to compare it against,
I got bees. It's really not that difficult to make, and I got extra carboys.
Oh, this year it looks like I'm going to have a better yield of apples, even though I'm not a hard cider guy.
Mm-hmm.
Just for giggles, I'm going to make a hard cider out of the apples that come off my trees this year.
Oh, heck yeah.
Last year, I think either there was a frost or something happened and I didn't have much of a yield, or that the deer got them, A lot of times the deers eat the blossoms.
Yeah.
The deer eat the blossoms.
Yes.
Maths.
Speaking of the American public school system.
I know, right? Texas education right here.
Better than mine.
Florida.
You think so? Yeah.
There's
It's
a
weird.
reason why there's a whole thing going out of Florida Man, whatever day it is.
Wow, no kidding, huh?
Well,
Florida special.
The truth is, if you ever go to a People of Walmart page,
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it's Florida.
It's usually
If you
Florida or
were-
like
if you-
Alabama.
yeah,
If there's something crazy going on, 9 times out of 10, it's Florida.
yeah, that stuff is nuts.
Yeah, a lot of times
But I love
Florida
it.
makes the news.
It was great.
Well, you know, I really like living in Pensacola.
Pensacola, Florida.
Coffee mead we bottled about 3 months ago that will wake you up for real.
Nice.
All right, you guys say more about that. Because that is absolutely not what I think of when I think of mead.
Are you gonna send us a sample?
I don't know, Nathan, are you overseas or are you in the U.S.?
He's in the States.
You're in the States.
That much I know. I know he's American.
Because when you mentioned
If
it
you're
before,
American
I thought
doesn't
he
mean
was
you're in the
over there
States.
in the U.K. Like
Oh.
you know.
You are in the States. You don't have to say where you are exactly. We kind of do a dance around giving our geolocation just because.
I think we typically do. I think we kind of.
If you know us, you know where
You
we're
know
at.
right, yeah.
They also know the vicinity from the
Any viewer knows we're in the Pacific
brewery.
Northwest.
Yeah,
You know
the
what I mean?
brewery.
Right.
So they know
And
what.
he did name the brew supply, so
So they
That's
know
true.
you're within at least a weekend drive of that.
right.
There's still a lot of-
I
There's
mean,
still a lot of territory.
you can be in Idaho and still go to that place.
True.
That's true.
On a Saturday, you could still make
You could
it.
Make it over. Yeah.
You wouldn't make it back.
Thus the weekend trip.
So yeah, please don't reveal your exact location unless you care to. But
Oh,
I just thought I thought you were overseas in the UK the way Jamie had mentioned you originally. So
Idaho.
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 Idaho. Idaho. I don't know.
Idaho.
Idaho?
Nice. So Florida. Nice. Yeah, man. You know what?
Florida?
Hit me up.
Oh,
Let's get
she's off
together.
camera, but my sister-in-law, she's from Florida. My wife is from Florida.
Let's get together
sorry.
in the Discord, man, and maybe we'll hook that up.
My first duty
We'll drink
station.
it on the broadcast.
I was active duty in the Navy. My first duty station was Jacksonville, Cecil Field, now closed.
I was in Pensacola.
Yeah, I
8
never
months.
went to Pensacola. My school was not Michigan.
Millington.
Millington, yeah.
18 years in Florida. Never been to Pensacola.
No kidding.
Really?
Never been.
Pensacola was nice. You know what the coolest thing in Pensacola was?
The beach?
Beach was
Well,
nice,
yes, but not for perhaps the reason that you might think.
Not
I
better
am a
as
beach
some of the
person.
other beaches I've been to.
So the best thing about Pensacola, the thing that I enjoyed the most, was going on a flight with the SAR guys and flying out over the beach and seeing all the swimmers, seeing a gap, seeing all the sharks. I was like, wow, that is just like a buffet.
Right?
It's amazing there's not more shark attacks in Florida, considering they're pretty common there. You get more stories, at least in my area, the Gulf side, lower, from stingrays than you do sharks. Sharks are like, oh, that's so cool.
What kind of
Stingrays,
sharks?
you're like, shuffle.
There's hammerheads, and how aggressive are hammerheads?
Not real aggressive. They're pretty docile.
I don't know much about
I
hammerhead.
think
Bull sharks are super aggressive.
But where do bull sharks hang out?
Wherever they want to hang out.
Okay, well, yeah. That's
I think
true.
they found bull sharks in rivers.
So are they
Of all places.
aggressive? More aggressive?
They're-
Yeah, they
more
are.
aggressive.
They're kind of like, I think great whites are actually aggressive. They are.
Oh, like great whites, yeah.
They are what Jaws made them out to be. They
Right.
are an eating machine. But those are off the coast of
Well,
South.
what's funny is
Africa.
most great whites, they take a bite and they go, oh wait, that's not what I want. They let go and go away because you're not their food. Very few great whites are
But you're
actually
still
considered-
missing a leg.
Well,
I didn't want to.
you
scorch
have
to
like
the bottom.
500 saw teeth like gripping to your arm. It's gonna go away. But if they really wanted to eat you, you'd be dead every time.
After they took my arm, I think it kind of like, you know what? Why didn't you finish the job? Seriously. Now I'm maimed.
I'm maimed.
I like being maimed.
I can't play guitar
You
now.
were
Just
you
kill
were
me.
you weren't named. You were tasted, and they said you did not taste good.
Great. So I'm maimed and insulted.
You are welcome. But so growing
All
up,
right. So we know about where you're at then, Nathan. Hour south of Orlando.
hey, I'm
we're-
like
oh,
3
yeah.
hours south of Orlando.
Let's say
Oh.
yeah.
Isn't that in the ocean?
No,
No.
Fort Myers Beach area is where I grew up
It depends on how fast you drive, I suppose.
So, funny story. My stepbrother Jay, I would spend a lot of my weekends at my dad's house with my stepbrother, his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, his dad was fishing, just standing in the shallow, so maybe high water, fishing. And he had his legs just a little bit spread because he was just standing there fishing. And the stingray went between his legs, freaked out, and stung him in the leg. He wasn't moving, just stingray went through, touched him, just barbed. Spent time in the hospital because he had a stingray barb in his
That doesn't sound very
ankle.
fun.
No, well, that's how Steve Irwin died.
Yeah.
Somehow stingray got to his heart. I mean, how hard did that thing have to hit him?
They hit pretty hard. I mean, just his ankle, he was hospitalized with a barb in his ankle. It's no joke when it wants to be.
Jellyfish attacks are far more reported than the stingrays. I had a friend who got zapped by a jellyfish.
Don't pee on this jellyfish.
Is
It's an old wives'
it?
tale.
Wait. So we got two Floridians. Peeing on the jellyfish is not true?
They lied to us all these
It
years.
causes infection.
It's still
and
fun to
gross.
piss all over that guy.
Salt water does better.
Just still.
Yeah, salt
This
water.
is gross.
In
It's
my
medical,
opinion,
man. It's
distilled
medical.
water and salt water did better for my stingrays.
I didn't
than
want to
anyone
golden
peeing.
shower.
Yeah, so
So my wife gives me golden showers.
well, don't you guys have Man of Wars? You have Man of Wars, Nathan?
I don't think we do.
I think there's Man of Wars have made it that far.
I think that's more Australia area. Ours are just, for the most part, I mean, there's always the stray man award, sure, but for the most part, it was just the little, I love the ones that are glow in the dark at night. And so you go through it, they just light up, and it's so beautiful.
Well, in Corpus,
And then, you have your wife who likes to,
What? Yes.
what the hell? And she's been flapping her gums the whole time. How do you do that? How do you talk nonstop and drink?
I'm a female.
She's like one of those ventriloquists that takes a drink while they're doing their show.
Dude,
Which is a first, because normally I'm the last one done. Normally they're staring at me like, hey, come on.
it is funny to pee on your friend, but it doesn't help for jellyfish. Oh well.
Well spoken. Well spoken.
Let's not tell our friends though.
I know, right?
In Corpus,
Yes, pee on your jellyfish.
pee on it.
So-
It makes it feel better. Well, it makes one of you feel better.
And it's not the one with the jellyfish.
Yeah, it's not the one with the jellyfish.
But yeah, the fact that I'm still grew up in Florida and I'm still alive is surprising.
Okay,
because
Man of Wars are Australian. You're right.
I don't know how many times, like I would swing, rope swings are the best thing ever. Well, we had canals. And I would swing off the canal, the rope swing into the canal, hit the water, and you see nests of water moccasins scatter. And then we learned that we could walk on water because we scattered just as fast.
Oh yeah, man! If there was that many moccasins in the, I would jump right
But the
out
fact
of
that
it.
I've never got bit by them, I'd run around barefoot in the woods with rattlesnakes and all that fun stuff, and
Ow!
all that fun stuff. But then I learned, so I'd have to walk a quarter mile to the bus stop, and it was over a bridge over a canal.
Yeah.
And a mama gator had her nest right there. You can't really avoid the one bridge unless you wanted to walk like 4 miles that way, cross the next bridge, and then 4 miles back.
Yeah.
And so you cross, well, mama gators are very protective of her nests.
I know very little about mama gators.
They're
They're all gators to me.
daddy gators don't care. Mama gators will, yeah.
Kind of like
So-
the rest of the world.
It's been more than once that I was chased home from school from mama gator. So when you do the Florida things, they would teach us zigzag. Yeah, no,
Mhm.
don't zigzag. You just run straight as fast as you can because all the ones that chased me at least never went zigzag to chase you. They just
They ran in a straight line, and you were just slowing yourself down by zigzagging.
Right. You were running
Pretty much.
farther.
Maybe you were supposed to zig until they zigged, and then zag until they zagged.
yeah, that just makes you tired. Because
have
we
moments.
did gator drills where they would tell you how to zigzag, and it never worked for me, so I just ran straight. Thus, running track and cross country in high school, it was, I guess, my form of PTSD and training from the gator.
See, the only thing, so Nathan, the only thing I have where we're growing up is grizzly bears. And
Don't play dead.
I've seen, no, well, so actually, there is guidance on bears. So if you encounter a bear during the day, play dead, because the chances are you surprised it. and it is just defending its territory or whatever.
Unless it's a mama bear with cubs, and she's gonna F you up.
Well, yeah, in that case,
It's
just
just hot right, man.
what? I know, isn't that cool? One day we need to actually get more than one camera for this video so we can like down.
Okay.
And not like that first time. Man, the first broadcast, it was like first or second broadcast. I was like, hey, everybody, watch this. I put the camera over it, fog.
So you need to put like a hook.
Yeah, we need
In
to
the
get the
ceiling
camera up
and
and then
have a
use
nice
the
little-
zoom function.
Right.
Zoom function.
Zoom.
Don't put the lens right in the water. Yeah, that's a great hot rate.
Where I'm from, it's rattlesnakes. West
We have
Texas.
rattlesnakes.
We have pygmy rattlesnakes in Florida. I didn't know until like the past like 5-6 years.
Don't you have eastern diamondbacks?
Supposedly, but I ain't never seen one.
What is on my?
Wait, have you actually been bit by a moccasin?
That doesn't sound fun.
I've never been bit by a rattlesnake. I've killed several,
So
Yeah, I never did.
but I've never actually
one
been
of
bit.
my nieces, so you know how there's usually a grass patch between the street and the sidewalk?
Yeah.
One of my nieces was walking through that mowed grass patch and got bit by a pygmy rattlesnake.
I
Thankfully.
don't even know what a pygmy rattlesnake is. I know what a diamond. I know an eastern diamondback.
Yeah, it's a tiny rattlesnake.
Well,
little guy.
obviously.
Pygmy rattlesnake. It's in the name.
Thank you. Talk about something else then. Let's talk about a controversy.
Yeah,
Is he
she's
Government, politics. Let's
She
talk about
spent a
that.
couple of days in the hospital having to get, Inovenom and whatnot. Thankfully, sister's a nurse and said, grabbed and went.
Right.
But yeah, I think she had like have 7 vials of Inovenom, something like that.
Ooh,
Man.
And those aren't cheap. But
Well, I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I know that moccasins aren't like cobras or mambas, or some of them kill you quick snakes. But I know that they are more problematic than rattlesnakes. Rattlesnakes are pretty low on the list. I mean,
so
you still need to get it
rattlesnakes will
taken
make
care of.
noises and be like, get away from me.
Well, yeah, that's the whole
The
thing.
cottonmouths.
Again, it's in the name, rattlesnake.
Just saying.
You ain't just saying nothing. That's a statement. Shut up.
Cottonmouths will chase you through the water.
I'll get started.
What's the difference between a rattle with a moccasin and a cottonmouth?
Same thing.
Are they just a different name?
Yeah.
Kind of like a cougar and a panther and a mountain lion. It's all the
Same
thing.
But those, supposedly the name's based on elevation. Same
Mm.
animal, but it's the elevation theoretically changes the name. Location and elevation.
Well, there are some that so the Florida puma is actually a different animal. I mean, some of those are different animals. It's like a
My
different
favorite
subspecies.
Florida animal? Key deer. Itty bitty. Little Florida key deers.
It's like a little snack. What are you hunting for snacks?
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Just in the nick of time, I catch up.
Yeah, tiny, teeny little deer. I get yay big.
Little guy.
But we'd always have something called swamp cabbage.
Swamp
which I guess is
cabbage?
a kind of palm tree. And you eat
Yeah.
the heart of it. And they'll cut the tree down. And there's a whole festival, swamp cabbage festival, that I grew up going to every year. And they
Is that
have
anything
different
like
ones.
heart of palms that you
Yeah.
can buy? Is it the same thing?
Heart, it's the heart of a palm. A specific kind of palm.
Cottonmouths don't go for you. They only bite if you get too close because you are too big to eat. Well, they are predators.
Yep.
Oh.
One day we'll have a camera that swivels. We can show the setup too.
Well, if we ever get the Brudio set here. Okay, yeah, I'm ashamed.
Flog
It's horrible. Yeah, let's go.
We've been talking about a brewing studio, Brudio, for like a year now.
Yeah. We can put it in my basement. We just gotta.
Burritos cost money.
Well, there's banks.
Thanks. We'll just borrow more money and cure
We'll take
more
some.
national
They
debt.
have money in them, so we'll go to the bank and we'll get the money.
I have 3.5 minutes. Just saying.
I am working up on eventually boiling here.
One day.
Maybe. Eventually. Possibly.
So yeah, but the only thing we have where I'm from is rattlers. We got rattlers and then grizzly bears. Oh, we have wolves now too. But I've never had a problem with the wolf. They're always leaving. Although I was surrounded by wolves once at night.
Really?
That was did it go right out?
Yes.
There's one farm, I can't
There you
remember
go.
where it
A little
was,
Do a little.
Oh.
It
I just want the most minimal.
that they were
flow.
trying to find different ways to keep a wolf pack out of his ranch without using fatal
lethal methods. Yeah.
And so he figured out kind of like a territory howl. And so he'd mark the territory by, wolf, you're in for hunting, and he'd put that around. And then he would, on speakers, play this howling sound and had very successful results on keeping wolf packs from coming onto his property.
Huh. So
Not infallible, of course, but he had lower
the wolves,
livestock death rate.
to my knowledge, so when they were reintroducing wolves to Montana, that was a huge. Here you go, man. You can put your garbage in there. I'll take this back.
Garbage.
You can put your garbage in there. When they were reintroducing wolves to Montana, that was a big argument from the ranchers. Oh, they're going to kill all our livestock. And to be honest, that really hasn't come to fruition. There hasn't been. I mean, there have been, but it's not nearly as
pretty
bad.
much, if you have a wolf attack and most ranchers lose some sort of cattle, you pretty much have a statement, you send it to the government, they pay you for said cattle.
Well, the problem
8 times out of 10.
it's state by state, and one of the problems, and maybe they fixed it since then, but one of the problems with Fish and Game and Montana was that you pretty much had to show them a picture of the wolf killing the cow in the moment, and then they would believe you and say, yes, you lost one of your livestock to a wolf. They might have fixed it, because this is like 15 years ago,
I
right?
think it got better within the last 5 to 10 years. But
I think it's just the wolves haven't been nearly the problem with the agriculture that it was feared.
so, and the thing is, wolves packs generally take the weak, sick, easy taking down prey.
Right, which you've just described cows.
They're not as easy as you would think they are.
They are easier than any deer or elk, even babies.
Because they can't run as fast.
Top speed of a cow is like moving backwards.
But their head is hard. And
The wolves don't attack the head. They hamstring them and let them bleed out. Come on, sweetie. You know how wolves kill.
yeah, but it's not their main food source. It's not the one that's, I don't want to say an instinct, but generationally, that's not what they necessarily see. It's usually the sick, dying, or starved wolves that go on to human land.
For whatever reason, the fears of excessive livestock damage due to wolves have not come to fruition. It hasn't happened. And that's a good thing. Now Montana has a wolf hunting season. Right now, it's a full-blown hunting season. I can buy 5 tags. I can only do them one at a time. And you have to buy the tag 24 hours before you kill the wolf. And that is to prevent people from shooting a wolf, going into town, buying the tag, and then going. It's like, no, you've got to pay the money. But Montana has a hunting season on wolves, and
Which, they have a hunting season for grizzlies and whatnot. And it's based on the
they
projected.
don't. Actually, in Montana, they don't. And it is problematic because the grizzlies have now no predators. They are the apex predator.
So I think Pennsylvania has
Kinda.
seasons and whatnot.
Yeah. But the problem with the grizzlies is they have learned that when they hear gunshots, they go toward the gunshots. So
It'll be a
because there's hot lunch at the end of that gunshot, and so they go find it.
And sometimes chase
which is
them
fine.
off.
I had a grizzly bear watch me gut a deer once. And
Any
that was-
comments?
What?
Any comments?
Well, yeah, Nathan's last comment was cottonmouths don't go for you. They only bite if you get too close.
Okay, yeah, you read that.
Because you are too big to eat.
Right.
Thus, me surprising I didn't get bit landing in a nest of them. I think I scared them more than I scared myself. And I was
Well, sure. I mean, you think, I don't know.
But I would swim in canals constantly, and the fact that I never got bit is surprising. And then I have friends who
I swam in quite
walk
a
by
few
a canal
canals in
and
Pensacola.
got bit by a cotton mouth. And I'm just like, how did I survive? And I was the dumbest thing walking.
I don't know. I've seen,
I'd run through
I've
woods
wandered around
and-
in the mountains of Montana for, well, I guess the older I get, the closer it is to half my life, but it's still over half my life. I spent wandering around in the mountains, no special protection, no bear spray, no nothing. I've seen one mountain lion. It was running away as fast as it could. I've seen a few bears, and I've seen one grizzly, and it was more interested in the gut pile that I was making than it was in me.
If you see the animals, they ain't hunting you.
Probably not. That's true.
But it's one of those, like, I would run barefoot through all these woods and all these things growing up for 18 years. Nothing more than a fire ant or a bee.
I had a bad experience with fire ants in Pensacola.
So did I. I'll tell you that in a second.
I don't do push-ups in piles of fire ants
And
anymore.
so, but I've never had any issues. And then I have people who are like, oh, I got bit by brown recluses and black widows and, walking just in mowed grass, got bit by a rattlesnake and cottonmouths.
Right.
And I'm like, how did I survive? And I did everything they tell you not to do.
Well,
My fire ant story,
did you visit them in the hospital, or did they just tell you about these things?
I was up here. We had pictures of her in the hospital.
Okay. So
With the hospital marks of everything growing.
I have friends who have had every miserable experience. For every discussion we get in, for every controversial topic, they have this horrible, tragic sob story that just proves that they are so right. And it's like, it is amazing how horrible your life is.
My friends know I require proof.
Yeah, well, these people.
But,
Wait,
so
bird-sized mosquitoes. You ever been to Alaska? You want to
Those
talk
are
about
bird-sized.
bird-sized? It's a freaking helicopter. Freaking Huey.
but the flying cockroaches are not matched.
Oh, in Florida? The those are
palmetto
palmetto bugs.
They're still flying cockroaches.
I
But
freaked the hell out once, man.
in fact, you're right.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Calm down. Hold on. We got emergency. Wait, we got boiling beer here. All right.
He gets very excited when it boils.
Well, that's because it almost comes out and goes everywhere.
So, my fire ant story, it was one of, I don't think it was for a hurricane, but maybe a tropical storm. Well, everything flooded. And you cannot always tell the difference between, hey, look, there's dead plant life floating in the water and fire ants. So we're like, hey, let's.
You got any gloves? You see any gloves laying around? Pieces of cloth?
There's a,
Up there on top of the fridge, there's some gloves.
All right. Oh, you know what?
There's some work gloves.
Up on the fridge. Continue your story. No, I do not want a t-shirt.
I want to read the t-shirt.
Continue your story. Woman up.
Oh! Yeah, that's my shirt.
That's my new shirt.
What?
That was Optimist. That was a
Optimist.
shirt that Randy got me.
That's weird. These gloves are way too small for me. At least for a child.
It's
I
for
forgot that
Brandy.
was there. Yeah, it was a present.
Continue your story. I'll be right back.
How can I continue the story to you if you're not here?
So yes.
So, yes. This stream makes my ADHD very happy.
Oh,
It's
good.
everywhere.
Oh yeah, we go all Nathan. We go all over the place, man. We jump around every tangent and imaginable.
Okay, well, look at a good shirt, and there's a red thing over there.
What's that?
Well, yeah, it's
I know.
finally spring-ish.
Oh no, I mean my hands are hot from the hot water in this
I thought it
can.
was like spring-ish. It gets so hot.
No, I'm talking about like larger than typical insects and things and other kinds of bugs.
Palmetto bugs.
What I'm going to bring up because it was my experience when I was in Florida. Banana spiders, dude. Some of those things were like
I got a story about that too. I got all these
probably
stories.
about that big, man. Just
Oh.
almost ran into a web of one, just chilling, doing its banana spider thing. I got freaked out, man.
So
Can I have the flaminade?
with the fire ant thing, so of course, we have like whatever ditches in most spots, and they were filled with flooded water with a bunch of what we thought was just dead leaves
Right.
and sticks and grass. And so we're
And
like,
snakes?
let's go surfing in the ditches. And so we did, we played, and next thing you know, head to toe, me and some of my friends were just on fire.
Leeches?
Because, no,
Fire ants?
fire ants.
In the water?
when it floods, a fire ant will create floating rafts.
You ready that?
So when their nests flood from like floodwaters, they
Gotcha.
float to the top, come together and build fire ant rafts. Well, what we thought was just groups of dead plant life was fire ant rafts that we proceeded to go play in. And
Nice. So you just decided to cover yourself in stinging insects.
yes. And thankfully we had a friend with a pool because once we realized we were covered head to toe in fire ants, we proceeded to jump in the pool and wash them off, and that stopped.
Right?
And so with the banana spider, every summer from like, I think 14 to 17 or 13 to 17, I would go to Tampa with my aunt at the time, and me and my cousin would have a summertime job as a trail guide at a horse ranch.
Well, that's not a bad job.
And it was the best. I loved it. And so one of our tasks.
Isn't it sad that some of the best jobs in your life you couldn't actually support yourself on as an adult? They were so much fun, but it's like you got paid minimum
I
wage.
mean, I'm a dog
minus
trainer now,
five.
so I can't really complain. I love my job now. But so one of our tasks was we would take a horse out and we would run the trail and we would make sure they're clear of fallen trees, sticks, spider webs, and the whole 9 yards. So
Sure,
when we
the
have
whole
trails,
thing, so that
you just walk.
the horse rider people that were there for a pleasant
Well, when
experience
you're,
actually had a pleasant
You know, a
experience.
teenager, you're not smart. And instead of, doing a, nice little amble down the trail and make sure everything's clear, we're like, hey, look,
Let's
it's
do
a
it at full
straightaway.
run.
Let's run. And so we're racing. I look behind me to laugh at my cousin who's losing. And I look forward and wham, banana spider nest right here. Like right in front of my face.
That was enough to freak you out.
I swear, I'm sure I'm being facetious, but when you're 14 and a spider's coming straight to your face, it looked like a dinner plate.
So you just put a ton of fire ants in the pool filter. Rude.
It wasn't my filter. And I think I was like 9. Young,
Nice.
dumb, not my problem. We were just crying.
What does that sound? Do you hear like a high
Yes.
pitch?
Is that one of the... Is that his?
I don't know. It's kind of a weird. I mean, it's like this ringing sound. I don't know.
Is this Steve's?
Well, we'll let Steve deal with his.
But so
Anyways, continue. I can ignore
I
it now.
learned
It's not just me.
the basics of the Matrix that day because I was laid flat on the horse's butt as we're racing down. No reins, no nothing. The fact I survived is another miracle in and of itself. Because I had no control. I was.
Somebody's
Is it yours?
somebody's
think
very
it's yours.
audible.
Yeah, we think it's yours. Because I played with my thing. Turn it up and down. There it is. It's yours.
That's weird.
Steve's fault.
Oh, and now it's back. Weird.
I've
Apparently,
never heard a big noise like that.
I know. Me neither.
But so yeah.
Oh, he hears it. Okay, good. So it's all of us. That whining is a real thing.
He hears it too.
And
Okay.
it's from your machine. Because
So maybe
turn it
it's
up
the
and
other
down.
nozzle?
no, it's down here.
No, because when he plays with that nozzle, so
No, when it is at the burner. That is strange.
Weird. It's never done that.
No, it has never done that. Maybe you need to clean some of the sugar from all the burnouts, boilovers. Seriously. We are. So by the way, Nathan says, I know I've watched all the recent streams. This is the first I'm actually awake to join in. You work nights, bro?
I do.
bruh,
I work
That's
nights.
true.
I work days now. New job, new hours.
Nice. All right. And we start our timer. That is so weird.
Yeah, it's strange. Oh well, it'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
I lost my phone. There it is. Timer.
It's fine. We'll deal with it another time.
Oh, you're absolutely right. It is fine. It's
I had to
weird.
go through and tighten everything up after today.
I was frustrated because I'm trying to boogie it. I am like racking from your carboy into a secondary so I can wash your carboy and bring it back over here. Not last week, but the week before, I of course forgot something because I always forget anything. No, just usually passed out by now. 4-hour time difference.
True.
Good point.
Good
and
point.
3 hours.
So here's the truth: is that when we lost Haps and we lost our multi-streaming capability, our audience dropped.
Yeah.
I soldiered through to an extent. Steve was pretty much like, "The heck with streaming. This sucks."
Yeah, he's
I was
he's
demoral.
he's more the streaming guy. I'm just kind of along for the ride. So
I love performing. I like people looking at me. Look at me. Look at me. Tell me I'm amazing. That's
You're
me.
so pretty.
Thank you. I will take that. Not from you. If you call me pretty, I'm going to punch you.
I will never call you pretty.
Excellent.
Ever.
Your sister-in-law, she can call me pretty.
He may
all
call
she
you
wants.
handsome.
Nope, actually not like that either. It's no. How about
Not-
you tell me how amazing I am physically, and you never mention it.
I like your hat.
Yeah, it's amazing how even though you're a chick, you're making this
You
incredibly
are an
uncomfortable.
amazing brewer.
Yeah, okay, so we're just gonna take the past 5 minutes of the broadcast and pretend it never happened. Never happened. All right, so I forget where I was. Anyways, the point is that we got lazy with when we started, and it is hard because I go to church an hour away. Our church service doesn't end until noon-ish, and we always have lunch after church, so that means I'm usually on the road, 1 o'clock. So 2 o'clock, I'm back up here. So, but if you watch more and you tune in, we will start more on time, more often.
Sticky.
All right, you know what? Here's the deal. I hate you both. You know why I hate you both? Because now someone says, I think your tractor's sexy. I hate all y'all. All y'all suck. All y'all.
That was perfect, man.
Hey, in his defense, tractors
I like
are
tractors.
sexy.
No doubt. People at work say, what's your dream car? And I'm like, Massey Ferguson. It's like, what? It's like, I don't need speed. I need something that can tow 5 tons
I have
without
a
breaking a sweat.
I don't know what tractor it is, but I have a tractor waiting for me in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I could use a tractor.
My father-in-law bought a tractor in lieu of us, because he was excited that we were moving to Arkansas. So
Oh, that's
I got a
cool.
tractor.
Yeah, I definitely could use. I could use a tractor right now, but they're freaking expensive.
Everything's
And I'm not
expensive.
gonna lie, I do not want to buy a 1967 Farmall that I have to fix up because I know what a pain in the butt they are to fix.
Remember Peyton? He went with us to Tool concert.
Yeah.
He's got some kind of old tractor. He's constantly having to repair. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
I think he kind of enjoys it, but the fact he has to do it, though, he's
but he's
constantly
looking for parts too, isn't
Yeah. Sometimes we'll take a part that's going to get thrown away from the aircraft. He'll take it and use it on his tractor. It's like, I can use this. It's like,
he? Yeah,
take it, man.
because he comes into my store. He's like, "Hey, you got this?" And I'm like, "Dude, they haven't made that since 1973."
Yeah.
I mean, I will look maybe, but
Maybe
luck.
we'll have one in some sort of storage in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
yeah, it's like, ooh, what's that?
It's my house. Look at the packaging. It's
I think it's
different.
It's
I
clear.
think when we
It's
got
not just
a
a
new one,
Ford
John
package.
Deere, some sort of
Oh,
tractor.
okay. Hopefully it doesn't cost you guys a lot to maintain it,
Have you seen that?
Did you say it's a John Deere?
I think so.
No.
It's free. Or would you?
Well, no, I'm not complaining.
Okay,
I'm
I
not
was gonna
saying
say,
that.
would you complain about free?
No.
No.
That's not what it is. I'm not saying, oh, give it back.
No, I think
mean,
you're going to
a
run
free
into like
tractor's a free
right to
tractor.
repair problems with that though.
You do. John Deere is a pain in the butt. They lost a lawsuit. They got
Yeah,
sued
I know,
by farmers.
So I
That's
think,
what made me
yeah.
think of that. I just saw something recently.
Yeah,
about
that right to repair. I should be allowed to repair my own
Deal with
stuff.
that with
There's a
Apple
lot
and
of
stuff, too,
companies
man.
who are dealing with that more than just John Deere.
Oh,
Because
true.
I think Case did it before John Deere.
You know,
and a
that's
couple others. I think it's the big tractor
Sorry if that's
companies.
distracting. I don't know how to deal with that right now. That line.
so. You know, I know we're not supposed. That is an interesting thing. So Nathan's American, so maybe he knows. It depends on how much you know about history and how political you are. But we're not going to go deep and not controversial. Trust me.
Well, no,
It's
we
just-
agree not to do that.
Right, I know. But it's just very interesting. So the right to repair, you have a right to fix what you own.
What you own, yeah.
Right?
Right.
So there's a lot of things. So healthcare as a right. And a lot of people say healthcare is not a right, and some people say healthcare is a right. And in all that arguing, because I follow all that stuff, because I'm a huge political junkie, there was one definition one person put forth. He said, you know, I think a good way to define a right is something that exists without another human being having to give it to you. So the right to free speech. Nobody has to write a speech for you in order for you to speak. You can do that all by yourself, just by existing.
But it is not the right for no.
Right. Well, okay,
Repercussions.
right. No, we're not talking about
Any
that.
rights.
We're just talking about the definition of a right. So you have a right to free speech. You have a right to privacy, right? No one gives you that right. Nobody has to do anything for you to maintain your privacy. All you have to do is not tell everybody every little piece of your world. Social
Facebook.
media people, yeah. Twitter. Okay.
Instagram.
Well, yep.
Air or laundry.
But you understand my point.
Yeah.
Right to due process, Miranda rights, all these things, these are all rights. But the big thing about a right is another human being does not have to do anything for you to enjoy that right.
I mean, theoretically, the right to due process, someone else has to give it to you. They have to get you through the court system.
Okay,
in a reasonable time.
you've got a good point there. All right, so that was a little fuzzy. But I think in general, the
The right to
concept
shut up
holds.
is a good one.
Yeah, you can shut up. Somebody can make you shut up too.
True.
But you have the right
It's
to
just
not.
interesting.
Somebody can make you
Interesting.
talk too.
So at the beginning, when are we going to get into the abnation that the Supreme Court did?
No.
We are
Yeah,
not.
we are intentionally avoiding very specific sides of things.
Yeah, we don't
Whether
do heavy controversy.
Whether it's religion or politics, like we might establish context with political discussion, like we're doing now.
Right.
But we're not going to display any kind of sides what we necessarily fall on.
We
things
all
like
don't
that.
necessarily have the exact same hardcore
Even
beliefs,
right here.
thought, or
Even right
process
amongst
between
us
the
three.
three
This
of
We
is,
don't
us.
this is a show about beer and talking about things.
Yeah.
We want people to be able to come together and not get all polarized.
Nope. So we are going to run screaming from the Supreme Court's options,
Yeah.
whether you like what they did or whether you hate what they did. We'd rather not talk about
Yeah.
it because
Your feelings are your own, and
people in
we
general,
respect that. So
We each
We
know
just-
our own feelings, and
we
we
can't
don't
talk
need to
about
cause
the
a
church.
fight between everyone else.
yeah, we don't want to go there. We want
Yeah,
this
so-
to be fun
so
and
let's-
friendly, and
But what I am going to talk, and I'm actually almost done.
okay.
So it's interesting. So at the beginning, when they came up with the concept of the Bill of Rights, there was opposition to the Bill of Rights. And one of the reasons that people were opposed to the Bill of Rights was not because they didn't like the Bill of Rights, but they were worried that people would suddenly believe that the only rights you had were the ones they wrote down. But they said there are other rights that we haven't written down, we just haven't thought about. And that right to repair your own stuff, that's one right there. It's like, yeah, that is not a privilege. I have a right to fix it. I bought it. I should be allowed to fix it. Interesting.
Well, I mean, it's like it's all our dirt bikes. We do every bit of maintenance on
All right,
all
you
the bikes we own.
Take your fingers out your ears now. We're done.
We hit, we buy our own stuff. We buy which brand we like better that works for us between oil, pistons,
Mm-hmm.
every piece from top to bottom. And we will sit out there and we even get the kid in there. He's learning how to build his own bikes. He built a bike from, we broke it down to frame and he helped rebuild the whole bike. I could not imagine having any equipment, tractor, anything where I couldn't go in there and be like, hey, look, we broke a belt. We broke a piston. And my husband's mechanic.
Well, yeah, I know that.
Why shouldn't he be able to buy whatever part he needs and put it in whatever mechanical item he owns?
Yeah, well, exactly. And I think it's a really it's an excellent example going back 250 years of this is a right that, because it is not in the Constitution. You have the right to repair your own wagon. I mean, that's not written there, but it is clearly that is something you have a right to. Oh, so this is funny. Kids these days can't read those rights. They're in cursive. To be fair, I have a hard time reading those rights because it's not good cursive. I mean, maybe that guy thought.
Chase taught himself how to write his name in cursive.
Oh, really?
Because his school didn't, when he was actually in the public school, they didn't teach him. And so he's like, I'm going to learn. And so he sat there, Googled cursive, and learned how to write his first and last name in cursive.
Interesting. I never learned cursive. I still don't write in cursive. I learned a version of handwriting called italics, which looked exactly like italics as when you select it as a font. Same deal.
Cursive. So
And that's my handwriting.
Florida taught something that you didn't learn? I'm shocked.
Huh?
Florida doesn't teach nothing to anyone else.
Oh no, the Montana public school system taught cursive, but I just never learned it.
Oh.
My mother went with this thing, and my mother's she's very strong-willed. She's an independent woman, which is a nice way of saying she's bullheaded and stubborn.
Pretty much.
My mother will never watch this broadcast, so I'm safe. Isn't there a thing with Porsche or Cadillac or some car company that you can't have the hood open on the side of the road if it broke down?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'd have to look that up. I don't know, but yes, they do. There are some weird things. I know that Rolls-Royce, if you're Rolls-Royce, now I realize that Rolls-Royce is at the extreme end of things. They're very expensive cars.
I can't afford one.
But if you can afford a Rolls-Royce and you have a problem with it, you call Rolls-Royce, they come out and they give you a whole new whatever it is. And they take your old one and they don't tell you. They're just like, here you go. It works now. Don't ask questions. So your engine has a leak. They don't fix the leak. They give you a new engine and take the old engine back to wherever.
Really?
Well, I think some of those high-end car companies, they are concerned about their image. And they're like, don't
I don't want
smear
you
our
working
image.
on it.
Yep. Don't touch it. Don't make us look bad by having, maybe that could be very well true. Don't make us look bad by having your car on the side of the road with the hood up. That makes Porsche look bad. We don't want to look bad. Don't do it.
I'm always a small town mind where it's, hey, if it's broke, you're on the side of the road trying to fix it because you ain't gonna spend $600 to try to get it towed and be fixed.
Well, small town people know that everything breaks. If it's got tires, it's gonna give you trouble.
Even if it doesn't get tires, it's still gonna give you trouble.
Mm-hmm. Hey, have you heard anything? You ever hear like Porsche or Cadillac having some sort of policy or
I
something
don't think
like
it's
that?
Cadillac.
Don't put your hood up.
I
On
don't
the
think
side
it's
of the road?
Cadillac.
No, I never heard of that. Why? What's the?
Oh, it's just Nathan was just asking.
Oh.
He said, "Isn't there a thing with Porsche or Cadillac or some car company that you can't have a hood open on the side of the road if you're broke down?" You know of anyone?
What the heck? That's like an international sign of I need help.
I know, but we are talking about John Deere, who is
What
incredibly.
about here?
I don't know. Dude.
Not that one.
I want to know
Austin
how
Deere.
the hell your sister-in-law has beat us 3 times in a row.
I have to
Freaking
go
lush!
retrieve a beer.
This is our
Excuse me.
third drink. I only beat you twice.
It doesn't matter. You're like kicking butt and
All
taking
I can say
names
is I'm
over
so
there.
glad I don't work tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a good thing you only live 150 feet from here, too.
I think it's 150. It's like 3 houses that way.
I know.
You're gonna be drunk if you're not careful.
Yeah.
I'll slow down.
Man.
You
That
drink as
is
much
smooth.
as you drink as much as you want, but this is strong beer.
I know, but
This is like a
I said it was,
7%.
I didn't say it was weak. I said it was smooth.
Oh, I know it goes down smooth. It's
But see, right here,
yummy.
I got this wonderful thing called water that I've been drinking in between.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you have
That's
definitely.
cheating, by the
She
way.
has definitely outpaced us, man.
Yeah, she's getting
Of course,
bucks.
I've been going on off camera.
Yeah, leaving me alone. Fortunately,
You're
Stephanie's
alone.
here.
You have Stephanie.
Yeah, but if she wasn't here, I'd be alone.
Sure.
I wouldn't say bored because
Fortunately, Nathan's here.
I know Nathan is super responsive and talking.
You're like the best viewer we've ever had. ever.
You know, right?
The most communicative.
You're actually interacting with
Yes,
us.
you are leaving comments. You are clearly watching at least 5%.
Speaking of which, I need to go yell at my kid.
God, what the heck's up with your kid? Why doesn't he love us anymore? He used to be our biggest fan, and then he just like off the map.
Well, yeah. I think he doesn't know that we're only on YouTube now. I think he was so trying to use apps. I don't know. I'm guessing.
I think it's not his fault because he's 13.
Of course, it's not his fault.
It's always his fault.
Forgot to mention text work.
It is, man. I got that nailed. That's gorgeous. I got 15 minutes until my first half of these hops.
It's always his fault.
It's always
Well, that's because you're his mother and you can like come down hard on him. I'm just like,
Like
I'm not even his uncle. I'm just like the best friend of his uncle.
No, your uncle. Your uncle.
No, let's not go with uncle. I hate that. I
Doesn't
don't
matter.
why. Okay, fine, whatever. It's your family.
Your uncle Jamie. If you're close enough to the
150 feet will
family,
take 400 steps. By this stream, I done. This.
wait, what?
How many black and tans have you had, Nathan?
Wait, what did he say?
It says directly 150 feet will take 400 steps by this stream I done. By the time this stream is done.
Ah, okay. He's talking.
Yeah, you got a good point because it'll not be in a straight line. He's saying you're going to have a hard time getting home, sweetie. Me and Steve are going to watch and laugh. And she fell down again. How many times is that?
Hey,
Seven.
So the
help
cool
your
thing is,
sister home.
I'll just call the spousal unit, which is way bigger than I am, and tell him to take me home, and he will.
Which is funny because he can literally throw you over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes.
And he has on more than one occasion.
Oh, I did that too. I did that to my wife once before we were married. As a matter of fact, because my wife is New York
So
tough,
close to boiling. So close.
Mine's Florida. His is Florida special.
and we were much younger, right? And there was this girl who my wife did not like, and some sort of altercation happened, and my wife was like, "Yo, I'm gonna hand your head to you," and they were like, "Whoa," and all puffing up, and the chicks, so they got boobs, so that's entertaining for dudes, but and yes, there you go. It's like
They don't
Yeah.
care.
It's like, and then she's like, and my wife was like, and we all worked, and we were all in the military, where
right.
fighting in the command is not viewed.
Right, blue on blue, not good.
I literally picked my wife up and threw her over my shoulder. Just did one of these little knee dips, grabbed her around the back of the thighs, up over the shoulders, and we are going back to our barracks.
Really?
Mine was a friend of mine got
Mad at me. I'm gonna kick her butt. I mean, she didn't say butt, but I'm trying hard to be like family friendly.
So a friend of mine at the
There
time
might be a 13-year-old that watches once.
just got he's
All right.
heard worse. A friend of mine just got divorced. So she's like, hey, let's go to a club. And this is when Elemental or something was there.
Me spell well with one L. Both words.
Me smell well too. But so we went to a club because she's like, hey, look, it's the divorce is final. Let's go have a few drinks, go dance. And I'm like, I love drinking with my friends and dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Best
Okay.
thing ever. Great night. Everything was going good. And then she disappears.
Oh. I had a friend do that to me once.
Instant rage on mine because I'm like,
Wait, you're mad?
yeah, because she disappeared. I'm keeping because she has kids at home.
Oh, well, you
And
could
so
go look
she's like,
after
hey,
him.
why don't you keep an eye on me, make sure I don't do anything stupid.
You gotta taste that. Easier to do it. No. Why did you let him do that to you?
She's part of the group now. She has to taste the hops, man.
I don't think that is a very nice initiation.
It's not initiation. It's just.
It's not my first hop I taste.
It's not so much that it's like
It's only a little bit more bitter than alfalfa hay. The pellets.
Okay, you got a point there. I've tasted that too.
Okay, some too.
But it's the powdery, all in the mouth, everywhere, up in the
Alfalfa
gums.
pellets.
Yes, I've tasted alfalfa pellets.
It's not any more powdery than that.
Yeah, it's still
But
Although I will tell you that it's funny. Oatmeal. I hate oatmeal, but yet I will definitely eat oat-based horse candy all day long.
and you buy that wet cob.
Handful for the horse, handful for
Wet
me.
cob is just nothing but like candy. which is why I don't feed it to my horse because he doesn't
Especially
need that
that-
much feeding.
Especially that stuff that's just all glued together with molasses and stuff.
That's wet cob. It's wet corn, oat, barley,
Hmm.
and it's
Too aggressive?
mixed together with
And molasses.
molasses. Dry cob is corn, oat, barley with no molasses.
Probably not as yummy.
So sugar with sugar is my
Mhm.
bit. But so before we went clubbing, my friend's like, "Hey,
Right,
keep an eye
so-
on me. Make sure I don't do anything stupid."
Which is hard to do
And
when
so
they
I'm hanging
disappear.
on her, and I'm playing, and then small town. I need an Old Navy buddy, so I'm chatting with a buddy of mine that's in the command, and I turn around and she's gone, and I'm just like, crap. So I'm searching the bathrooms, the floor, the bars, everywhere. Can't find her. So I'm like, crap, she left with some guy. I don't know where she is. I don't know who she's with. So now I'm running around for like the next hour trying to
That's
find
enough
her.
to piss you off for sure.
I'm mad.
Yeah,
And so I call
justifiably so.
the hubby. I'm like, hey, we're done. Whether we find her or not, I'm done. I'm already there. I'm not going to have fun the rest of the night. He gets there and we're looking for her. And she shows up from the alleyway. From an alley. She disappeared with a dude in the alley.
That's the
And I'm
mind
like,
trick. It's called candy.
We're gonna let our imaginations fill in the blanks.
Yeah, I wonder what happened in that.
So I'm mad because she ran off. And
I would
I
say
didn't know if she was dead
confession.
or alive.
Maybe some Eucharist
And so
prayer.
I'm getting ready to yell at her because now she's coming
That's what
to
I do in dark alleys with random women.
Pray.
She,
Yes.
Which one's on their knees though?
So Matt shows up.
Oh, man. That is hard to ignore.
Pray on
Hard to ignore.
I couldn't help myself.
But, so she shows up right when Matt shows up.
She was in the alley with the nose candy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what this is sounding like.
But she shows up when the hubby shows up.
Hubby being your hubby now?
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
And so I'm mad, like
Yeah, you're angry.
mad. And then she just starts wandering off to another car to go hang out with this guy through his window in another car, and he's trying to get her to go home with him. And so now I'm mad, like, no, you gotta go home. And
You
I
just
get
did something in an alley. We're not sure what. Maybe it was religious. We have a doubt. And now you're going to go home with this other dude? What are you going to do? Become a nun at his house?
Kind of like what you did for your wife. He lifts me up, throws me over his shoulder.
Oh,
we had
Matt
the
does?
lifted truck at that time because I'm mad. Like he thinks I'm gonna spider monkey through the window and beat some people up.
I'm going to kick her butt.
Not hers, theirs.
Oh, you're going to kill everyone.
Yeah, pretty much.
You were ready.
I was a very angry drunk at that time.
Well, you did bite the hell out of me one time when we were trying to help you.
After this story's done, I want to hear that story.
I didn't do whiskey or.
We'll let Steve
So
tell
I
that
was very
story.
mad. So
You
he
can-
throws me over the shoulder, throws
over the
me
shoulder
up
you go.
into the lifted truck, slams the door, like child blocks and slams the door shut, rolls the
tosses
window
you
up.
in the back seat.
Because I'm so drunk I couldn't figure out the window if I wanted to. So I'm stuck in the vehicle. Mind you, his door's still open.
But you can't figure out how to get out that.
No.
There's a seat in your way. It's like this magical
There's a
barrier.
console, a seat, yeah. I'm going that way and it's locked and closed door with, yeah. It's fine. And so he grabs her, throws her over the shoulder, throws her in the truck.
Okay,
And
this was the girl who decided to go have religious experiences with multiple men.
Yes.
Okay.
What a way to
After getting
Describe
divorced, so she's celebrating her divorce by extreme religiosity
Yes.
with men.
She was showing all
More
the men
than
the
one.
Jesus.
more than one.
Aha.
She was showing all men
Okay.
the word of Jesus.
I'm following you. I'm following. Okay, so you have got to tell
Well,
this.
it's not like an extraordinary story. It was
I'll
just,
tell you some
It doesn't
other
matter.
stories.
Nathan wants to hear it. I want to hear it. I want to
Do
hear
you
about
really
your
wanna hear
sister-in-law
Nathan?
biting you. What is it
Do
going
you
on with this?
really want to hear this story, Nathan? It's
This
all
is
up to
my heart.
Nathan.
Okay, this is the men's room.
yes.
This is the men's room right
Men's
now. We have reached the men's room.
Okay.
Have I mentioned that I don't like the men's room?
So we shouldn't say because Jamie don't like it.
No, I want to hear the story now. What the hell? No, you can't do that.
It's not like all ultra weird or anything.
It's weird, dude. Your
All right.
sister-in-law bit you.
It was not like she drew blood.
I think that's what when I was going through the divorce.
Yeah, you were
So,
living with
Me and
us.
my ex were going through divorce. It was just Yeah, fun. And so I was drinking whiskey.
I think I had wine that night.
Interesting
Well,
how
I had a
alcohol
lot
is
of
involved in
freaking-
all
A lot of
Alcohol.
booze. We had all gone out earlier. My wife, her sister.
these stories, alcohol.
For a
always.
while, Stephanie and her son Chase, when he was just a little guy,
Like
lived with
a year old.
lived with us in one of the spare rooms when she was going through a divorce and all that stuff. And so, anyway, one weekend we all went out and partied, had a good time, and came back to the house. And
I was fine, and then I think my ex either messaged me or talked to me. And
yeah, something
it was
kind
like
of triggered
instant
you.
rage, and they were trying to get me upstairs in the
Wait,
shower.
Well, no, wait. First thing,
This
wait,
is another
I gotta-
instant rage
I
story.
got to back it up a little bit though. We were all.
Instant rage is common when I'm highly intoxicated.
You decided to put down more alcohol than normal because of the text order we got. You were kind of done drinking.
I need to show Nathan something.
Oh, okay.
Nathan, this is my glass,
Oh, here we go.
Stephanie's glass,
Yeah, here we go.
and Steve's glass. We got a problem.
I'm telling a story.
All right, tell your story. I'll fix these glasses problems. If you drink fast enough, I'll still be up here.
You were laying on the floor like just drinking
Trash,
and
like,
puke
gone,
on the
like-
carpet.
Puke.
Alcohol poisoning.
She puked on the carpet,
Trash.
and so
You are not getting
you had puke all in your hair all over you. And so Brenda's like, "Well, we got to get her cleaned up, put her to bed."
Mind you, I also had a cast
You had a
on my
cast.
left arm for
Yeah.
surgery.
You got no sympathy.
So my wife and I get her up off the floor, get her to the bathroom.
It was a garbage rug that already had
trying to
puke
wash her
on it
hair
and
and just
stuff
kind of
on it.
rinse things off. She was fully clothed. It wasn't like we're putting her in the shower, but we were just trying to get her cleaned up when
Well,
we put
that's
her in
no
bed.
fun.
For some reason, she decided to take my arm and clamp down on it.
I like biting.
She didn't draw blood or anything, but she just clamped on my arm. It's just like, why are you biting me? We're helping you. Eventually, she let go and we got her to bed, but it was just like, what the hell is that?
I like biting.
Yeah, apparently.
It was a dark time in your life, apparently. Steve, you finished that yet?
No.
I'm getting there.
Come on, man. I'm pouring as slowly as I can. Although, this is too good of a beer to slam.
Right.
I will happily get up again and fill your
I'd pay for
glass.
this beer, man. I'd pay for this beer.
Dude, I
I'd
would
pay
totally pay for this beer. I'm not lying when I say that. Like, if it was Resurrection Ale 6-pack, yeah, I would buy a 6-pack or a case of
I'm going to
Resurrection
show these
Ale.
on camera real quick. So I have.
Did you purposefully grab the most ugly one of your bottles?
No. So I have these resealable bottles. I don't know how much you can see here. These kind of resealable types. A friend of mine gave them to me. Yeah, it was like, I don't know, 24 pack of them or something like that. Whatever is in that
You got
box.
quite a few. I mean, you had.
And so
There's a lot of random gear.
now they're like stoneware, so they're thick, man. So
Ceramic.
things out. Yeah,
That's ceramic. That's what that is.
So anyway, I'm gonna bottle beer for the very first time at some point in time.
Japanese Imperial Pilsner? Imperial Pilsner. That's what it says. Can you read that?
Anyway, I want to bottle the
No.
beer and distribute it. Not
Grolsch.
to sell, but just Grolsch style, yeah, exactly. Not to sell it, but just where I can share my beer a little bit easier with my friends. So, because most people who drink my beer either have to rely on me to bring a growler or they have to come over. So, you're about the only person other than Chris down the street that comes over. So,
Well, I'm not going to stop. I like
I
being
hope
that
not.
guy.
you should be that guy.
We didn't drink on Friday or Saturday. I was like,
No.
I was feeling deprived, like kind of doing the whole Twitch thing, but you don't get your fix with heroin.
Right.
Not that I would know because I've
I was
never
like,
done
what?
heroin.
We don't do that.
Where'd Stephanie go?
She get
And she's back. Water? All right, look, water has one purpose, and that is to make beer.
It
It's
also
done.
keeps me from being hungover tomorrow.
Okay, well, if you have.
You have work.
I got that. Flip top. I have many of them. Oh, really? Do you put?
but he mentioned the Grolsch bottle exactly.
Yeah, do you put meat in them?
That is the Grolsch bottle. So.
We should make some meat. I gotta figure out my hives.
I got some bees going again, man.
Well, I got it.
Well, we'll break off from our typical. You make me this summer, I'll make hard cider this summer with my apples. No?
In addition to,
Well, of course.
we got to do this every
The
week.
beer is constant.
Dude,
Constant.
Ben and Trevor actually, I think they appreciate us. They're like, you guys are regular. As in, like, that was like kind of a
That
quasi.
was cool.
It was like a quasi impressive comment. Like, you guys brew every other week.
Yeah.
I don't think all
The
of
one
our
time we don't
customers
brew is
do.
if something absolutely comes up where we can't do it.
Yeah, and that's when I told him. It's like, yeah, well, we got a broadcast with no viewers. One viewer now.
One viewer
Nathan,
now.
you rock. Woo! Nathan.
Oh, we used to have that one guy in Nevada, in Vegas. What was his name?
Yeah.
When we were on Haps, he used to talk to us.
I don't know, but he was a Haps guy. He was
Yeah,
on Haps,
yeah.
and of course Haps died. I was really upset.
Well,
You
died
know-
for us. I don't know about the. Did it actually die? I know it died for us because
No, Haps is
they
gone.
went to the actual kind. Oh, they did.
No,
come
Haps
back.
went out of business.
I know
That
we
was
didn't
really
like it because we didn't want to do the.
We didn't want to
TikTok
do
style.
TikTok style with the whole vertical thing, and it's just like, look, why are you doing this? This is, you know what Hap's real problem was?
You guys are behind. What's going on?
Really?
I'm gonna get smacked.
Yes, you are.
Not by me.
No, come on, you're closer to him. Get him.
No, I didn't know Haps was actually gone. I just knew that.
Nope. Wait. You will need yeast that has a 14 to 16%, not that 6% beer wheat yeast. All right, I will come to Florida and I will deal with you. But no, actually, so the one time that I did make mead, I used champagne yeast. Champagne. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to hang out for about an hour and a half, 2 hours after we get done with this, so I can get home. Or
So-
I was
call my
gonna
wife.
say, are you as thick as you drunk you is?
I
Nathan, help me
as
understand
I
something.
drunk
What's
since
yeast?
you did that. What?
Huh?
Champagne yeast. That's what I used. But you're right. You do require to make mead.
Son's bacon, man.
Yeah, it's almost time to start brewing it.
I know. That's why I was
But
actually.
I can't go to your house.
You can go to my house. You
No
just
one
gotta
ever
walk
invites me.
home.
Next thing you know, Steve's just
All right,
gone, and
you're
I'm like,
invited.
Steve just leaves, and I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm here now.
Oh well, then I'm.
Hartfords are.
I will invite you.
I know I'm invited.
How is your sister?
No, I'm not talking about
Oh,
orcs
oh.
and D&D.
Oh.
I'm doing Yoda. Let's right there. Hartfords are.
Yoda numbers.
Remember, difficulties. Conjugate the sentence you with.
My question is, will Grogu speak English?
What? Who? What? Huh?
Grogu.
What? You mean Baby Yoda?
Yes.
All right. So giving him a name.
I have
Look
baby.
Here we go again.
Baby Yoda.
I have Baby Yoda in my car.
You had Baby Yoda in your car?
Yeah, he's a crocheted Baby Yoda.
I don't know. I never watched The Mandalorian.
I'm all
I
about.
almost watched The Mandalorian, and then they fired the Gina Carano, and that's politics, which we're not allowed to talk about. And so I just
I'm all about the
Context is one thing, but
I know, but it's all no, we can't.
okay, you're right.
Let's throttle back here.
I love the Mandalorians.
I heard it was.
All the way back from.
I have heard that Obi-Wan is an abject failure. Like,
I think
We
it's
watched the
50-50.
first one.
I think someone
Yeah, I
said
fell asleep,
like
so.
a couple episodes
well,
of
that
the
would
season
say
are awesome.
something. But I just heard, I think it's from, and this is not from people, on the extreme right who are attacking Disney because of their political views. This is from like folks on Twitter, because on Twitter I am very apolitical. You know that.
Right.
By the way, you can follow me, Jamie Aston, on Twitter. Also follow the new Northwest Brewmeisters. All right, that's my plug. We're done.
Selfless plug.
Done with the plug.
Mandalorian is because I like Mandalorians.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
like what you
from-
like, and
Boba Fett.
it's kind of like voting. I mean, I know that's a weird statement, but you can't vote your faith.
Does
It's like,
anyone actually?
I'm a
like
Christian,
voting?
therefore I vote this way. It's like, dude, you can't tag someone. You like The Mandalorian. Cool. I hate Disney. Cool.
Right.
I hate Disney for reasons other than politics, though. I mean,
Right.
I just think they put out really substandard substandard products.
There he is.
Substandard politics.
Have we watched the new Beavis and Butthead movie on Paramount?
I have not yet.
I don't think anyone here pays to stream.
Yeah, if it.
You are wrong.
I have Comcast
You do?
cable, but I don't
Not
think I
me.
have Paramount though.
Who?
I have Streamer Boy.
That's right. Your son has like every service imaginable.
My kid links into them all.
I am
He
getting
probably
that.
has like foreign services aren't even available in the States.
He,
So
he
what's
does.
the
I can't
crazy-
even
I'm
read.
gonna say that kind of joking, but I would not be surprised.
And they charge him in
You know?
their currency, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. But I'm like,
whose benefit is it then?
What's crazy is you can stream everything, and it's for almost the same, if not less, than just getting cable.
well, so
I
it
like
is
it.
amusing. And someone said just the other day, I saw the comment, boy, wouldn't it be cool if we had a service where we could just pay for all of these channels for one bit? And I just laughed. It's because that was
So-
called cable TV.
Well, we got rid of cable because we were paying like $180 for cable, and we didn't get any of the channels we wanted.
That was the big complaint against cable TV, is that you paid for 300 channels
You didn't watch it,
and you watched 2.
or two, yeah.
Right. You couldn't like do this mix and match. So now streaming comes out, and now you're paying $15 for Netflix, and you're paying $17 for
When
Disney,
we
you're
got
paying $18
cable,
for Paramount.
We got all the channels we wanted. And then after a year or two, they're like, oh, you have to pay $5 or $10 a month extra for these channels. And then
Yeah, that sounds like Comcast.
Yep. Comcrack, as I
and
call
so
them.
that's what happened. Is like every so often they're like, no, you need to pay. You don't get these channels. That was an introductory period. You have to pay extra.
Oh, you want
And
to talk
so-
about screwing up your hops? Hold on.
Are you late?
I am 6 minutes late.
You'll be fine.
I think so. To be honest, I really do think so.
And so
But I better get
we didn't watch a whole lot of channels. So now we just pay for those the streaming networks of the channels we watched anyways.
Well, yeah,
And I'm
that's
happy. It was like a whole total of like what 4, and one of them is like $40 a year.
A year? That's not bad.
A year. It's like $40 a year to watch it.
well,
There's
that's-
the squealing.
No.
yeah, that's weird. I mean, that's
Why
really
would
weird.
you use the red nozzle instead of the silver one?
That's not a nozzle.
What is that?
Some kind of thing.
It's a regulator.
I don't know what it is. I guess it slows the flow.
It's a pressure regulator.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just I don't know why it's red, it's just the way it came.
So it pushes at 10 psi. It is a fixed regulator that pushes at 10 psi, and that controls the flow.
Right.
And we hate commercials. You know, I don't
Excuse me.
know. It's like my kid hates commercials. He will pay for services to avoid commercials. But I actually, so for example, on YouTube channels that I want the content providers to succeed, I will let the commercials run. Because I don't want to pay
Oh, right,
YouTube.
right. Oh yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah. I will if I'm watching someone's channel, yeah, and I appreciate their channel, I will walk away and let the commercial run. Yeah.
Because I'm not willing to pay Google
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay Google whatever month for premium YouTube. I won't do it. But that's a personal, that's the kind of controversial
pay
topic that
for-
we can talk about. The idea
Oh, yeah,
is like,
that's just a personal
it's like
preference. Yeah.
for me, it's worth it to pay money to avoid commercials. And for me,
Or-
it's worth it to burn 30 seconds.
Yeah, I can go pee or something.
I
during
do
the commercial.
pay
Yeah.
like for
I'll tell you what
YouTube
about one in a
music.
minute, though.
I do pay the monthly thing for YouTube music, but just because I put my phone down at work, I'll put my headphones
Uh-huh.
in, and you can't shut your screen off. And
You can't shut your screen off.
if you don't pay for the YouTube music,
Oh,
App,
once
you
you
can't
shut the
shut your
screen
screen
off,
off,
the
it
sound
just-
stops.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Once you shut it off, it kills it, which I experienced that.
and
because I'm
so
not
what I do
subscribed, so-
is because when cleaning kennels, we put headphones in, and I'll put
You
my
also
phone
can't chat.
in one spot, and I'll
Right.
just kind of go do my job.
Mm-hmm.
But Pandora, I was fine with it wasn't that I wasn't fine with, the
Yeah.
the
I
commercials.
actually
which I'm
like
fine
Pandora.
for.
Continue.
I don't mind the commercials. It's I couldn't get the music I liked in like a playlist. It was I like this song and they'll play things similar to that, but my music is random. Like I will listen from Tool to opera to Disney to country
Yeah.
and everything in between.
The algorithm has a hard time figuring you out. I know.
And so
My
the
algorithm
YouTube,
thinks I'm a metalhead.
Well, look at me.
your fault. So-
I wonder why.
And so with YouTube music, I'll, if I like it, if I listen to a song I like, I'll stop, like, yeah, I like it. And then I can listen to my likes. And it just kind of rotates through the songs I like, kind of thing. I couldn't get that with Pandora.
Oh.
I couldn't just have a playlist.
So, you know the thing I've heard about Pandora versus Spotify? Spotify is more like a jukebox, where you choose your songs. Pandora is more like the radio, where you find this is my genre overall. You know, even if you define your genre as Alice in Chains, I want Alice in Chains music.
It was a channel, Alice in Chains channel, whatever.
But you're not going to get Alice in Chains. You're going to get music that Pandora has determined
like Alice in Chains.
Sounds like Alice in Chains. Pandora is a little better for discovering new music if you're actively listening. Sure. Because you have to be on top of it. Like, oh, I like this one. Who is this? Oh, it's Boogie Boogie Booger Man and the Undie Crew? Oh,
wait, what? Never heard of them, but I like it.
I like their music. That's a horrible name for
I
a
used
band.
to listen to a lot of Pandora before I got fat and stopped running.
You know, like YouTube music kind of has one where
You should ride your bike to work, man. It's only like 6 miles from here.
I'll pick a song
In the
and
middle
it
of the
kind of
night.
picks the genre near that song. And if I like the song, I'll just thumb up it and then I'll go to my like list.
Nathan says, my Spotify has multiple personalities disorder also.
But
I actually...
Find
Go ahead,
I
continue.
couldn't find any
I'm
streaming
gonna keep moving. The sun is cooking.
that shows
I hear
my random taste in music at all times. And unfortunately, YouTube does my random ADHD music tastes.
Well, see, the problem is for people with very broad tastes. I mean, even so, Steve is kind of a metal guy, right? And I don't know what am I? What do you think most music I listen to most is?
Almost like as eclectic as I am.
Probably. I think
Tea,
you
all
like
of the
more
above.
like. I don't think grilled is the right way to describe it, but
I get you though.
you know, you're not. You don't really fall into any kind of genre, man. You appreciate just good musicianship. You know?
I know, but it's not necessarily classical music. It's not like I'm
That's
listening
why-
to Mozart and
That's why I
Beethoven.
didn't say
and all that.
classical, because you listen to all kinds of stuff.
Anyhow, I think
Bluegrass,
the
funk
broader
music.
your tastes are, the harder it is for any of those algorithms, whether it's Spotify or YouTube or
Yeah.
any of. So not so much because Pandora doesn't really do the algorithm thing, right? You tell Pandora, I want to listen to Megadeth.
I gotta
If
get.
you put in Megadeth,
I
they're
gotta
gonna
get
listen
the
to
quote ready.
they're gonna
Yeah,
listen
yeah,
to
yeah.
everything in that genre for Megadeth.
Right, and so they're gonna. I got 17 minutes, and he's gone.
But
So in any case, but I think for the algorithm,
What?
I have 17
None yet.
minutes and 57 seconds left. For any of the, go get the coil and let's put it in my
How
pot.
much time left?
17.
Yeah, 17. Well, right now it's 17:35. So we're still doing pretty good. Yeah, go get that. And he's gone. I spend a lot of time alone on camera.
But what's crazy is like my YouTube thing, I'll say, okay, you know, I feel like listening to a country song. So I pick the song.
I will respond to that in a minute. Keep
And I'll
going.
pick the song. And next thing you know, like 5 songs later, it's a whole nother genre than country. Because YouTube figured out, hey, look, this is kind of
Wait. Are you talking YouTube or Pandora?
the YouTube.
Mhm.
YouTube music.
Yeah, because
And so-
they're trying to figure out what you want to listen to.
And so it will throw everything at me just generally, not even on my like list. And that's why I actually decided to pay for that, so I can shut my phone off, listen to YouTube music, hear everything kind of what I like. And if I really like the song, I'll like put that on my like list. But I'll pay for stuff I like. And YouTube music I've been liking just because it kind of shows my eclectic random tastes. And even if I pick a country song, it will show me everything other than just country. Because, yeah. Well,
I'm. What was it? I forgot what I was
Normally-
going to say.
I don't like just the YouTube in general, but
I guess I'm a little bit of a dinosaur. I still download the album to my iTunes and I listen completely offline. Part of that is because it's easier and I don't have unlimited data because I'm not going to pay for unlimited data. I'm sorry, it's not worth it.
mine it's
Oh, my kid pays for unlimited data.
so my unlimited data, I think I pay $25 for the first phone and then $15 for every other phone.
I pay
Get a military
15.
discount.
I pay $14.50 a month for 1 gigabyte, and that's all I need. I'm good with that.
But I can't connect to the internet at work. And so,
Well, I can't connect to the internet at work. I still have to.
you know, so it's.
I just don't do it. I'm like, all right, I'm on LTE data, whatever it is. It's like, all right, we'll minimize our use. But also, I like buying albums. Of course, the albums that I have bought in the last 3 or 4 years, they're not Megadeth or Alison Krauss or anything.
Now the artists.
It's Joshua Maxey, who is a jazz musician
The
that
artists
I really like.
I will buy their albums because I want to support the artists I really
Oh, yeah.
like.
And I've gotten into, I call them unknowns, my favorite unknowns.
Whether I'm
Right.
going to listen to that album that I pay for or not is irrelevant. I want to make sure I support the people I like.
Yeah, sure. And so I know like people like Ray Herring, Emmy Rich, Joshua Maxey, Peter Allen Edwards, Jem Edwards, Dan Roberts. These are all people I know that are musicians. They're working hard. Nobody knows them. I mean, I know them. They might have 2,000 or 3,000 followers, but as far as it's right there, it's half filled with.
Yeah, it's gotta be rinsed and ready to go get your work.
You're right. You've got a point there. Scott Weiland? Who is Scott Weiland? Do you know Scott
Stone
Weiland?
Temple Pilots.
Oh, dinosaur. I just bought the STP plush vinyl from Target 2 weeks ago. Nice.
Yeah, actually, you know what, man? Nathan, I actually saw STP in 1993 before they were known. They opened for Megadeth.
Excuse me.
When Megadeth was doing their Countdown to Extinction tour. They were the opening act, and everybody was
Noise.
nobody knew who they were. They were just like, all right, who are these guys? But anyway, it was a good show though, because it was new music at the time, and of course we were excited about Megadeth.
Everybody loves Megadeth. I mean, the guy had.
Speaking of, did you listen to that song I sent you?
Not yet.
The new song? Yeah.
Not yet.
It definitely sounds like old style Megadeth to me.
And of course, you know that doesn't mean a lot to me.
I know it doesn't mean to you, but
But
it means a lot to me. You know?
I get it. That is still cool.
Yeah, Scott Weiland OD'd on heroin, if I remember right.
My
that's
very
really
first
too bad.
concert ever in my life.
Kind of like Lane Staley from Alice in Chains.
Well, you know why that
You took
doesn't.
me to my very first concert ever.
You know why that doesn't
Oh, the
mean
Scorpions and Megadeth? Oh,
Yeah.
that was your first show?
Yeah, ever actual concert.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
they're ignoring me.
Hey.
I'm sorry, hold on.
Hold on. What?
Thank you.
The floor is yours.
No, I was gonna say the reason that it doesn't mean a lot to me is I don't know what you mean when you say old school Megadeth versus new Megadeth, because unlike Metallica with their huge difference under the Bob Rock time,
Right.
where Metallica it sounded like a completely different band. In all the Megadeth music you've showed me, which is a lot, I haven't heard
Wow.
that huge shift.
I've never showed you the album Risk, and I've never showed you the album Euthanasia.
We should listen
To me, you're kind of like, to me.
off into the Toolies.
Yeah. Especially the album Risk, man.
All right.
So like, whoa, what were you doing, But that wasn't because of a producer that was trying to change the sound. That was just because the band was trying to experiment, and they were like, yeah, this isn't going to work.
Well, that is okay. I mean, it really is. It's like, hey, let's try something new. Wow.
Here, I'm going to grab your tablet because I can't tell if Nathan's saying anything to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Grab it. Take it over to you.
There's a perfect spot right there if you need it. Right?
Okay, his first concert was Garth Brooks in Tampa.
I wish I
Garth
could saw
Brooks?
Garth Brooks was my favorite artist growing up.
Never saw Garth Brooks.
Loved Garth Brooks. Like my whole dream was to watch Garth Brooks in concert.
Are you serious?
All the way up until I was 18.
I never actually saw Garth Brooks.
And I think that was a part of a time when he retired the first time. And now he's back doing
The first
concerts. I think he retired like twice.
Well, Garth Brooks was
You think?
Garth Brooks was an amazing entertainer. I mean,
He,
he really
from
did
what I
know
heard,
how to
he did
entertain.
amazing concerts. And
Watch my time.
everyone's like, oh, I'll take you to one, I'll take you to one. And then it's just like, we never went.
Well, Garth Brooks really kicked country music to a different level. I mean, he brought country music into this the stage show is as important as the music.
Growing up, Alan Jackson and Garth Brooks were 90% of what I listened to.
Right.
I guess what my dad called new country.
Well, it was
Growing
New
up.
Country
Makes sense.
You know,
There's
for
the
other
order.
than that, like
Like-
it was all Dolly Parton, Patty
Like
Pie,
Hank
which
Williams
I
City rap, all
love.
the old school people.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like with someone like with Hank Williams Sr., right?
Right.
The only difference between listening to a Hank Williams Sr. album and listening to a Hank Williams Sr. concert is that Hank Williams was much more drunk in concert than he was on the album. I mean, he didn't dance. He didn't run around stage and do things. He probably said thank you. I don't know. I never saw Hank Williams
Never saw
Sr. You know, he was actually not. It's like he had this huge fan base of people that were pissed off at him and still loved him. Because he would cancel concerts because he was too drunk. He had a serious alcoholism problem. But let's
Makes
pick.
sense of why Hank Williams Jr. made all the songs he did.
Yeah, well, old Hank Jr. He's an interesting guy. I used to fix his plane. Well, I cleaned it. I didn't fix it, but I used to clean it. Hank Williams Jr. has bought me more than one beer. He doesn't know it, but he has. Because he left them in his plane. But
Alan Jackson was my first country concert.
well, and Alan
I
Jackson is a
92 or
good.
something like that.
And was he bouncing around, leaping over things?
I don't remember, man. It was
No,
like
most of them
1992, 93 time frame.
Garth
saw Alan
Brooks
Jackson
was
in
one that
concert.
created and brought showmanship
Yeah,
to the
he
stage.
brought this level of showmanship to country music that had not been there before.
This energy that wasn't there, that is now normal.
But, you
Right.
know, the other day, me and Steve were just talking, I don't know, were we talking online or we were just talking on your porch?
I don't know.
About this idea that there's a culture that has been erased. Or maybe I was talking with my friend Frank.
I don't remember that conversation.
So maybe it was your other
Was I
friend.
drinking?
I do
Yes.
have one or two more friends in the world. I never actually see their faces, but I talk to them on Facebook a lot, which is odd. I talk to them on Facebook and I never see their faces. Weird.
That's an irony right there.
It is.
That's true irony.
90% of my
coincidence.
Facebook pictures are all about chasing the horse or the dog. So I mean, I can understand.
But I was talking, and we were talking about the culture that country music, true country music. So let's talk pre-1985 country music. It reflected a culture that no longer exists. Go ahead, respond.
Well, no, he's Nathan wrote 3 guesses what most prized vinyl is. Clue: it's not any music genre; it's a duo. So it's not music.
Most prized what? Vinyl?
Vinyl,
It's
but
a
it's
duo.
not a duo. That's not music though. It says it's not any music genre.
Simon and
So
Garfunkel.
kind of some trivia.
Cheech and Chong.
Cheese and Chong. We're all waiting.
Which is
Now we wait.
Now we wait. That's funny if you're correct. I don't know. He hasn't said anything. yet,
technically it's beyond my time, even though I know vinyl. But that's technically beyond my time.
Vinyl was. I
but-
have.
vinyl's made a comeback, man.
Well, yeah, but it's more of a nostalgia thing than.
Sure, but fidelity-wise, it had good audio fidelity. I
We
mean, it
had
was-
vinyls growing
it was
up
better than
and
cassette.
all that stuff, but that was theoretically before
Oh,
my
hey,
time.
you were correct, man.
What?
Cheech and Chong.
Really?
Yeah. So
Nice.
did you get the one with the giant rolling paper in it? I know I can't remember which one that was, but yeah, one of their records they put out had giant rolling paper in it.
I love Cheech and Chong.
All right. Hey, you know what?
Aren't you supposed to clean that out?
I know. Well, actually, I.
He says the Big Babu I have 2 papers in them.
Nice. But actually, so hey Nathan, thank you very much.
yeah, we
for
usually
watching.
wrap it up, and we
We
got
really
a lot moving
appreciate
around
it.
now.
In the future, seriously, in the future, we do have plans. I mean, especially if people like you come in and watch, it makes the broadcasting experience so much better.
Makes it feel worth it sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, if you have watched some of our previous broadcasts, we just kind of stopped worrying about broadcasting and we just sit here and
Ramble.
talk to ourselves.
Yeah.
Occasionally, we'll look at the camera and say something,
Right.
but when people like you show up, it really makes it fun. We really enjoy this. But the truth is, in 6 minutes and 59 seconds, wait,
Wow. Should have said 7 minutes, man.
I know. Well, okay.
Now at this
5
point, we
minutes-
got to jump around a lot and
In
move
5
around.
minutes
so.
and 50 seconds, we're going to be into the kitchen. We're going to be out in the yard,
Yeah.
rinsing and cleaning and stuff. So we are at the end of the broadcast. Oh, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
There is more. I gotta
Oh,
press
this-
the big bamboo. I have 2 with the papers in them.
That's what I was
Okay,
saying. Pass it over. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So Nathan, we are we're kind of at the end because in a moment we're going to be moving around so much, and we're not going to be on camera because we don't have a studio where we can have a camera over in the racking area. Yeah. And before his laptop, it was my laptop. I mean, we are the most professional broadcast this side of the Columbia River. Oh yes, we are. So Northwest Brew Supply, our brew suppliers in Mount Vernon, Washington. We'll go ahead and say that.
No, we are not in Mount Vernon, Washington.
We are not now. You can't know where we are because we don't want people to come hunt us down.
We are within a weekend drive of Mount
Steal our
Vernon,
beer.
Washington.
Yeah, they might steal our beer. We're
Right.
Anyways, the point is, we want to give a shout out to them because they actually have been great. All of our beer recipes, every single one of our beer recipes, they are part of because we take them and say, "What do you think about this?" They know more than we do, and they're like, "That's really good," except maybe change this.
You screwed up on this aspect.
They've provided some very sound mentorship to help us shape our recipes, and we certainly appreciate it. So
and we're brewing their recipes right now because we have yet to be disappointed by their recipes.
I like them.
You have a female co-host this week. Make her film it.
I am not here every single week.
Awesome.
Between riding horses and taking my kid racing, I am almost never home.
Put your face on the camera one more time.
I think.
Okay, this is Stephanie.
Hi.
Steve's sister-in-law, our good friend, someone we have known for years and years and years.
Yes.
Before she was sister-in-law.
She was in the
I
Navy
am
with us,
the reason why he is my brother-in-law.
That's true. And we are actually all Navy buddies. We all served together.
He used to be my boss, and
I wasn't really your boss.
you were
in
not
the
my
same
boss.
room. We're in the same room.
spot.
We were in the same command.
Yeah, well, I'm in the same room. Like literally the same physical room. That's where we all
Not the same shop, but the same room.
Point being, anyways, seriously, thank you very much, Nathan. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
I will
man.
definitely see you in
Thanks
the
for
bar
hanging out with us,
on
man.
Discord. We do this every 2 weeks. You are always welcome. In fact, we would love it if you would pop back by. You do not have to hang out for the whole hour and however long we go because these broadcasts are long. We know that. Thank you very much. So, hey, like we always say, relax.
Don't worry. Have a home brew.
Have a home brew.
I am.
Good night, man.
Later, dude. I gotta check my time too. I got about 30 minutes on mine, but
I can never do this right.
Let's say about 20 minutes. So